Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the best damn movie-related show on the planet Earth, the John Campea Show, coming to you from right here on my YouTube channel. I'm, of course, your host, John Campea, and it is an awesome honor and privilege, as it is every day, to have you, our international friends, gather around to talk about our favorite things in the world, movies, movie news, TV, streaming, and all sorts of good things. And guys, we're getting close to the end of another week, and we're just one day away from Disney Plus Day. We're going to talk about that here in a little bit, but here's how today's show is going to go, guys. We break the show into two parts. The first half of the show, we take some predetermined topics. In the second half of the show, we take your live comments and questions. If you want to get a question asked on the show, simply go down into the description of this video and you'll see a tip link. Click on that there, or you can enter it in manually at www.streamelements.com/movieblogtv/tip. You'll be getting your question read on the show or an upcoming companion video if we deem the question appropriate to be used on the show. And of course, you'll be supporting the channel at the same time. Also want to let you guys know that if you guys are watching us talk about this, if you guys are watching the show today and you're seeing us talk about all these different sort of topics and stuff like that, and you think, you know what, I've got a comment or I've got an observation I'd like to share about that, here's what you can do. If you're watching live, and unfortunately only if you're watching live, just go to the super chat feature there in the live chat. And if you want to submit, remember, this is not a place to submit questions. Just if you've got a point of view, an opinion, a perspective, whatever, or a thought on one of the stories that we're talking about today, just use the super chat feature to submit it. And then we will read all those super chats that get sent in. If they're appropriate to be read on the show, we'll read all those super chat opinions at the end of the main topics. All right. A little bit of house cleaning I want to do here today. First of all, want to remind you guys, of course, if you need your daily fix of the John Campea Show, but can't be in front of a YouTube video, maybe you're at work or maybe you're commuting or jogging or whatever, good news. There is the audio-only version known as the John Campea Show podcast. The podcast, which, of course, I forgot to bring up on the screen again because I always do. The podcast is there and available to you on your favorite podcasting app of choice. So just open your favorite podcasting app, search for the John Campea Show, and subscribe to the show so it is there when you need it. And a big thanks to all of you guys who have already subscribed to the show. Thank you very much for that. One other bit of housekeeping I want to let you guys know about. I posted something about this on the community tab last night. And I did mention this in the companion video that we did last night as well. But I've kind of been mentioning that we're going to have a little bit of a format change coming, and that is going to start Monday. And basically what we're doing is now everything is being brought into the studio. And so, Aaron Cummings, Robert Meyer Burnett, stuff like that, they will no longer be Skyping in or coming in virtually from off location. When they're on the show, they're actually going to be here in studio. By the way, in case you guys didn't notice it, Robert Meyer Burnett did our part 3 of our Eternals open spoiler review. It's up on the channel now if you want to go see Robert's take. The first 2 parts of the spoiler discussion were me. Now you get to see Robert's take on the spoiler question. So that's up on the channel now, but you'll be seeing them in studio. And we had a couple of milestones this week, and I want to talk about these just for a second. On Monday, we officially hit our highest 30-day rolling view number that we've ever had since the beginning of the pandemic. As you guys can imagine, the pandemic was pretty brutal on all movie-related entertainment channels because, it's tough to be a movie commentary channel when there were no movies coming out. And so that was a rough time, but you guys got us through it, and we're so appreciative that you did. But, obviously that meant we took a big hit in the numbers and all that kind of stuff, and we've been recovering since. But as of this Monday, we hit our highest 30-day view number since the pandemic started at 4.4 million views in 30 days. Now, that's not the biggest all-time we've ever had, but it is the biggest we've had since since the pandemic. And that was back on Monday. I think as of today, our 30-day number is like 4.7 million views. But as of Monday, it was the highest we've ever had. Also, the biggest month of subscriber growth that we've had since the pandemic started as well. And again, all these numbers were as of Monday morning. So guys, we just want to say thank you to that. But part of the changes we have coming now is that we are bringing a couple people on full time. Now, first of all, you know, Ray, who does our graphics, all he's really done for us is graphics. And so he's kind of been working half time with me ever since we started the John Campea Show. And we've needed more from him. And also, I've been needing help. So I've been looking for an associate producer to come in to help with writing, research, scheduling, dealing with our sponsors, and doing some on-camera hosting as well. So I'm really excited to let you guys know now, officially, that both Ray and through our big search process, we had over 300 applications come in, and we thank everybody who applied. But we have filled our associate producer role. Joining us full-time is going to be Kimberly Curran. Starting on Monday. Of course, you guys know Kimberly. You guys love Kimberly. So yeah, Ray is going to be here in studio full-time starting on Monday. And Kimberly Curran is going to be joining us full-time as well on Monday. And I could not be happier about the addition of both of them. You know, we, especially for the associate producer role, because we did a role, I got applications from all over the country. I got applications from some people I know and a lot of really gifted people, but you know, Kimberly is as smart as they come. She's got a terrific on-camera presence, and I'm telling you, her personality off camera is every bit as delightful. She's super great to work with. Ray enjoys working with her. I know Rob enjoys working with her. I enjoy working with her. And you know, I put her through some kind of some obstacles, some professional obstacles to try. And, you know, through our interview process, I had her do some writing samples and blah, and she's just fantastic. And so we're really, really great that she's going to be joining us as well. And starting next week, you're going to see Rob pop up. Now, Rob will not be on the show like 3 or 4 times a week anymore. It's probably going to be more like 2 times a week because he's going to have to drive out here. But you'll see him on the show next week and moving forward. And again, if you want to see Rob, go and check out that Eternals open spoiler discussion part 3 that we put up on the channel this morning. So congrats again, and thank you again to Ray and Kimberly for coming on board full time. All right, guys, with all that down, let's get into a couple of off the top, shall we? And our first off the top here is this. You may know that my bro crush, I have a man crush, I have a bro crush, Mr. Henry Cavill back there. I'm just a big fan of his work. I've only met the dude like twice. Super nice guy, totally nice guy, but I'm a big, big fan of his work. Love him as Superman. Love him in Witcher. I loved him in Man from U.N.C.L.E. I loved him in The Tudors. I just think the dude's fantastic. Be a great choice for the new James Bond, in case you're watching Barbara Broccoli. He would be a great new James Bond. Anyway, we talked yesterday about the fact that he was talking at length a lot about coming back as Superman. That the cape is still in the closet. He repeated that again. He really wants to come back. And he laid out all this character journey that he feels they still need to do. And he talked all about what it would be exactly that they would do if he were to come back as Superman. And all that was great. And I personally think he's kind of giving a little hint, but maybe there's behind the scenes stuff. He talked about how, look, guys, there's nothing stopping us from having multiple Supermen running at the same time. Of course, referencing the J.J. Abrams Superman, the Michael B. Jordan Superman, and him saying, look, ain't nothing stopping us from having several Supermen running around and all that kind of stuff. Well, what happens then, though, if good old Henry, Big H, is not going to come back as Superman? Well, the question was posed to him, and he kind of threw out there, well, you know what? There is a character over at Marvel that I would love to play in the form of Captain Britain. By the way, I love this image that somebody made. That's fantastic. I would love to come over to the MCU and play Captain Britain. Now, this comes just from the folks over at MovieWeb, but Henry Cavill said the following. He says, I am never going to say a Marvel character who is already, like when asked which character would you want to play over there, he says, I'm never going to say a Marvel character that is already being played by somebody else because everyone is doing such an amazing job over at Marvel. However, I have the internet and I have seen the various rumors about Captain Britain, and that would be loads of fun to do. A cool modernized version of that Captain Britain, like the way they modernized Captain America. There's something fun about that, and I do love being British. And in case all you've ever seen is Henry Cavill as Superman, you may not know he is very much a British accent and stuff like that. So anyway, if you don't know a lot about Captain Britain, let's read a little bit of this here. Captain Britain, as he sounds, represents the UK in the same way that Captain America serves the United States. The superhero was created by Alan Moore and Alan Davis, first appearing in Captain Britain Weekly #1 in 1976 from Marvel Comics. In the comic book lore, he is given superpowers by the magician Merlin to uphold the laws of Britain. He has appeared in animated Marvel shows and video games, but has yet to show up in the Marvel Cinematic Universe on the big screen. So there's a little bit about that. No super soldier serum. Kind of like Shazam. Kind of gets his powers from the wizard Merlin. All right. What do I think about this? Here's the thing. I love Henry Cavill. The dude can play anything as far as I'm concerned. All right. Could I see him being Captain Britain? Well, in a different reality, maybe. In a different reality, maybe. In a world where Henry Cavill had not already played Superman and is already most well known playing Superman, then I would say absolutely, what a great choice. I mean, let's look at that pic again. Look at that picture. That looks fantastic. That looks great. But that's in a world where he hadn't already played Superman. And I say this as somebody who is a big fan of Henry Cavill. I don't think he should be not only not Captain Britain, I don't think he should be in the MCU at all. Because, you know, let me pull out a sports analogy here. Let me pull out a sporting analogy. In sports, you know, sometimes there's a free agent, but they've got a lot of drama surrounding them. And a team will say, we're hesitant to bring that player in because we don't want it to be a distraction. We don't want the circus that's going to come along with it if we have him come in here. I remember when Tim Tebow was still playing, there was a number of teams that, even though Tim Tebow could play, a lot of teams are hesitant because as soon as Tim Tebow shows up, it's just a media circus and it's a distraction to the team and all that kind of stuff. That's kind of unfortunate for Tim Tebow, but I mean, it was kind of part of the reality. I'm not saying that Henry Cavill has negative drama following him around. I'm not saying Henry Cavill brings a circus with him. I'm not saying Henry Cavill himself is a problem. Not in the least. But if Henry Cavill were to suddenly play a character like, say, Captain Britain, that's going to be a circus, man. That's all anybody's going to be talking about. Not Henry Cavill playing Captain Britain, but that Henry Cavill left DC. Henry Cavill, DC Superman. Henry Cavill, DC's golden boy, is now over here at Marvel. And I just don't think that Cavill would want a part of that drama. And I honestly don't think Marvel would want a part of that drama either. Because what's going to happen? Let's say they do Captain Britain with Henry Cavill. Are they really going to want the avalanche of public discussion as, oh, well, his Superman was better. His Superman was better. I mean, Marvel, I don't think they would want that. So I love Henry Cavill. I do want him back as Superman, but I just don't see Kevin Feige wanting to bring, even though he's super talented and otherwise would love to have him, but I just can't see Kevin Feige wanting to invite that kind of circus and drama that was no fault of Henry Cavill's over into the MCU. I'm not sure, but that's just kind of my take on that. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about these comments that, hey, look, I would be totally open to going over to Marvel and playing Captain Britain. He's a great character. He's this, and this. I don't know. Could you see that happening? Do you think Kevin Feige would want to have that kind of media circus coming over and risk the comparisons and all that kind of stuff? Is this something that you even think has a possibility of happening? Whatever you guys think, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, let's do one more off the top, and that is this. I don't know if you guys knew this. Oh, you know what? Some people are asking me to put up a poll. That's a great idea, guys. Let's put up a poll on this. We'll just ask, will Henry Cavill appear in the MCU? You know what? I'm not even going to say specifically as Captain Britain. Will Henry Cavill appear in the MCU? I'm still holding out hope he's coming back as Superman. But for those of you watching live and in the live chat, we've got that poll up right now. If you guys want to fire your thought in there on that and say, do you think he's going to be there? I personally don't think it'll happen. But right now we've got over 300 votes already. 60% of you are saying yes. Yes. And 40% of you are saying no right now. So now there's over 400 votes in. It's now 56% of you are saying yes. 44% of you are saying no. So it seems to be a trend going in the other direction. And we're now at 500 votes. 55% are saying yes. 45% are saying no. It's getting closer. So it looks like we're relatively split on our opinions in that. A little bit split in that between people's opinions. So whatever you guys think, if you're not watching live, jump down to the comments below and leave your thoughts there. Okay, guys. With that down, let's move on to our next off the top, and that is this. Now, you guys may know that tomorrow is a fairly big event in Disney Plus Day. Now, this gives me an opportunity to let you guys know that there is going to be a John Campea show tomorrow, but it's only going to be a short one. We're going to do a 1-hour John Campea show, instead of our regular 2-hour John Campea show. Just a 1-hour John Campea show tomorrow from 10 to 11, because we're then going to get ready to do our live stream watch along of the Disney Plus Day, which I believe starts at noon tomorrow, Pacific Standard Time. I think it starts at noon tomorrow. Anyway, I'll have to double check that, and I'll put up on the social media and in the community section of the YouTube channel to let you guys know when that's going to be. So there is going to be a John Campea show, and there is going to be a live watch along tomorrow. So the question has been kind of going around with everybody. What is it going to be? What's going to be there? What's going to be in Disney Plus Day? And I thought we would take this last moment, the day before it happens, the day before Disney Plus Day comes out, give us all last chance to kind of take a shot and speculate a bit here about what is it we are going to see tomorrow, and maybe more importantly, what are we not going to see tomorrow? All right. So let's start with this. Let's start with the things that I don't think we're going to see. The first thing that I'm going to tell you we are not going to see is a Spider-Man No Way Home trailer. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Now, the main reason that's not going to happen is because there's two big reasons for this. Big reason number one is that Disney is not in charge of the marketing of Spider-Man No Way Home. Sony is. Sony is the distributor of Spider-Man No Way Home. That is their thing to promote. That is their thing. They decide, what trailers get made and when they're aired, and they're probably not going to do that. So it's not a Disney thing. It's a Sony thing. The second thing is, the second reason why I don't think we're going to see a Spider-Man No Way Home trailer is because this is not a Disney day. It is a Disney Plus Day. Okay? It's not a Disney day. So even if Disney had some say in the marketing, which they don't, the fact of the matter is this is not a Disney day. It is Disney Plus. It is going to be a day to highlight and celebrate the stuff that is on and is coming to Disney Plus. So we're going to see like some original shows and movies and stuff like that for Disney Plus, but I don't think you're going to see, number one, we're not going to see Spider-Man No Way Home trailer, because that is going to theaters. It'll be on Disney Plus eventually, sure, but that's not what they're there to talk about tomorrow, so there's that. Another thing we're not going to see is a Doctor Strange 2 trailer. Again, for the same reason. Doctor Strange 2 is a theatrical release, whereas Disney Plus Day is for Disney Plus original content. So I've seen a lot of people writing in saying, we're going to get a Spider-Man No Way Home trailer tomorrow. Well, no, I mean, unless Sony totally decides to throw a curveball. Unless Sony totally decides to throw a curveball and drop one at the same time that Disney Plus Day is going on. But I highly doubt they're going to do that. But who knows? Anything's possible, I suppose. So we're not going to see a Spider-Man No Way Home trailer. We're not going to see a Doctor Strange 2 trailer. Another thing I've had some people asking, but we're just not going to see, nothing from Taika. I'm pretty sure I'm spelling Taika's wrong. Taika's Star Wars movie. or Kevin Feige's Star Wars project, whether they're Disney Plus or not, because they haven't even started production on those things. Those things are still early in their development stages, so nothing like that. I've been seeing a bunch of people online saying, I think we're going to see something about Taika Waititi's Star Wars or Kevin Feige's Star Wars, and the reality is, nah, that stuff is still way too far off, so I don't think we're going to see anything about that. So let's talk about what will we see. Let's talk about that. What will we see? All right. I'm going to mention a few things that I think we're going to see, and then I'm going to ask you guys in the live chat in a minute to start letting me know what you think we're going to see. The first thing I think is absolutely 100% sure is Obi-Wan. We're going to get a look at Obi-Wan. Now, I don't know if that's going to be a trailer for Obi-Wan. I don't know if it's going to be a sizzle for Obi-Wan. What do I mean by sizzle? Well, if you look at the most recent DC Fandom Day, what a train wreck that whole thing was. But there were some pretty cool things in it, including the Aquaman sizzle. You know, they didn't have an Aquaman 2 trailer, but they did have like a little sizzle package put together showing some behind the scenes and showing us the costumes and being on set and all that kind of stuff, right? Gives a little bit of a feel for what's coming up in the movie. That's what I mean by sizzle. So I absolutely believe we're going to get some Obi-Wan stuff. 100% we're going to get some Obi-Wan stuff. Whether that's a trailer or just a sizzle, not sure, but that's there 100%. Also, 100%, no doubt, is Boba Fett, Book of Boba Fett. That's coming out shortly. So, you know, that's probably going to be one of the big things they really highlight, if for no other reason than it's really coming out so shortly, and that's the Book of Boba Fett. They know the fans are excited about it. They know the Disney Plus subscribers are waiting for this thing to drop, feeding off the popularity of Mandalorian. The way they used Boba Fett in Mandalorian Season 2 was so good. You know they're going to be talking about Boba Fett. All right. Another thing I think they're going to talk about, obviously, is going to be, for the same reason that Boba Fett is coming out so quickly, is Hawkeye. Hawkeye, and I actually think this. Here's kind of a specific guess. I don't just think we're getting a new trailer. I think they'll probably show us like a 3-minute scene. Now, I have no insider information on this. I'm just, you know, speculating here, but I think it would make sense to me that they would show us like a scene. We've already had the trailers. Like, we've already had 2 trailers. We know that. I wouldn't be surprised, whereas Boba Fett's only had the 1 trailer. Hawkeye's already had 2. I think they show us like a 3 to 5 minute actual scene from the movie. And they're going to have, I think they'll have probably, you know, the cast on to talk about it. I think they'll bring in the, you know, the showrunners to talk about it. I think they're going to make a big deal out of it, just the way I think they're going to make a big deal out of Boba Fett. I think they're going to make a big deal out of Hawkeye as well. So that's there. Also, getting a little bit further out, and I know Robert will be happy about this, Moon Knight. I mean, they've wrapped production. Production's done. It's all ready to go. So I think we're going to get some stuff on Moon Knight there. I think we're going to, again, get a little bit of the cast. We're going to get the stars. We're going to get them talking about. So I definitely think we're going to hear them talking about a bit about Moon Knight. Also, another thing that I think we're going to be getting is, why am I freezing on the name? Hold on a second. I'm freezing on the name here of the project. What did they call the project again? Hold on a second. I gotta look up the actual name of the project. Because is it a Star Wars story? No, it's just called, that's right. I was about to call it Cassian Andor. It's just called Andor. Andor, again, another thing that is already finished shooting. It's already done. There you go. Ready to go. All set. I think we're going to get a whole bunch of stuff from Andor. So those are the things that I feel very confident about, that we're absolutely, like, I take to the bank, like absolutely zero doubt that Obi-Wan, Boba Fett, Hawkeye, Moon Knight, and Andor are absolutely going to be featured. And when I say featured, I don't just mean referenced. Like, obviously, they're going to reference a ton of stuff, but actually have something to show us. I think that's Obi-Wan, Boba Fett, Hawkeye, Moon Knight, and Andor. So with that said, let me look over to you guys and ask you, what else do you think we should add to that list? What else do you feel really, really confident? I'm asking you guys in the live chat now. You guys in the live chat, what do you feel very, very confident we're going to see? I'm getting a number of you guys, including Admar and Askash and Sam, are saying Ms. Marvel. I think Ms. Marvel's a really good thing on that. They finished shooting it. However, did you just hear that they just announced, unless I heard this wrong, I believe they just announced that they are moving, Ms. Marvel like a year. So since I think I heard they're moving into like 2023 or something. Anyway, if that's true, then maybe they don't talk about Ms. Marvel, but that's something here. All right. Queen of Nevers and Bob and a number of other people are saying She-Hulk. I think that's a good thing. They were filming that a long time ago. She-Hulk is probably one that is going to be up there. It's going to be good to see good Canadian kid Tatiana Maslany appearing in that. I think that's a good one. I'm excited about that. That's going to be cool. Now, some people are saying some obvious things. Shang-Chi. Well, yeah, Shang-Chi is dropping on Disney Plus tomorrow. So Shang-Chi is dropping. I think Jungle Book is dropping. The new Home Alone. Not that I know anybody that cares about the new Home Alone, but I think that's going there too. Now, I'm seeing a couple of people mention this. And obviously this is in response to some images that came out the other day that we still don't know if 100% they're real or not. New Daredevil series. That I would have to say is a way outside chance. I don't see that happening, but you never know. Somebody else mentioned, but I lost them. Where did they go? Okay, my apologies to the person who put this in there, but I think this is a very good guess. Ahsoka, not showing us trailers or anything, obviously, at this point, but Ahsoka casting news. That is a very, very good pick. That's a very good prognostication, I think. I think, obviously, they're not going to have anything to show us for Ahsoka, but Ahsoka casting news. Who's playing Ezra Bridger? Although we have already heard whispers and rumors that we know who's playing Ezra Bridger, but there's that. Who's going to play Grand Admiral Thrawn? We've heard some whispers and things, but nothing's been confirmed. Also, what about Sabine Wren? Is Sabine Wren going to be in it or not? I think we're going to get a bunch of news about Ahsoka. I think that's a very, very good pick. Some people are saying in here, somebody like Ethan Abraham is suggesting Secret Invasion. I don't think so. I'll tell you why I don't think they're going to highlight Secret. Like, they'll mention Secret Invasion, but it wasn't long ago that they just started shooting this thing. It was just recently that they started shooting Secret Invasion, if I remember correctly. So, yeah, I'm not sure about that. I'm going to go ahead and say no. But, that's just my guess. Some people are saying they're going to talk about the Wakanda series. Maybe, but I feel like right now they're going to want to keep all that attention on Black Panther 2. I think right now, all Wakandan attention, I think they're going to want to keep on Black Panther 2 right now. So I'm not quite sure. About that. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of ideas. Some people thinking, I like this one because there have been some whispers about this. Where did it go? Who said it? Yeah, Evan Ryan in the live chat is suggesting a Lando series. There were whispers that we were going to see an actual Lando series, that we were going to get Gambino back to play Lando again, that actually maybe the whole way they got Childish Gambino to play Lando in the first place was maybe they promised him that he would have his own series. I don't know, maybe an announcement for a Lando series. That may not be too bad, too. Some people are saying Iron Wars. I don't think they're close enough to really show us anything for Iron Wars at this point. A bunch of people are saying What If Season 2. I think we'll definitely get a What If Season 2 announcement. I think we will get that. I think so. Listen, I'm not going to lie to you. I wasn't a big fan of What If. I thought a couple of the episodes were great. The Doctor Strange episode, The Hank Pym episode. I thought a couple of the episodes were great. For the most part, I thought it was meh. I don't really care about it, but they were pretty popular. And so I think you are going to see at least an announcement. No footage or anything, but I think you're at least going to see an announcement. Another thing I think they're definitely going to talk about, and it's my most exciting, number one, most anticipated thing coming out. Although I'm not really sure if this applies or not, because look, Disney has several streaming arms, right? There's the Disney Plus streaming arm, but they also have Hulu, and a part of Hulu is effects and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know if if Disney Plus Day will include their grander umbrella of Disney Plus, because in some international territories, all the Hulu content is on Disney Plus, I think. So I'm not quite sure. But if it's going to show more than just the Disney Plus streaming aspect and also some Hulu streaming stuff, if that happens, because I'm not sure they will. Oh, you guys guessed it. I see you guys in the live chat. You already know what I'm going to say. Joey got it. Hosea got it. Justine got it. You guys know what I'm going to say. Shogun, baby. Show freaking gun. I remember, guys, back last year when they did the Disney Plus Day, they did the Disney Plus streaming day, and I was like, and they announced Shogun. You guys remember, I nearly lost my shit. Like, I've been wanting them to bring Shogun. I've been wanting them to do this for so long. I've been wanting them to revisit and bring back Shogun, do a new iteration of Shogun, and I'm so excited for it. And I really, really hope they do Shogun. I don't know how I didn't think to mention this. Thank you to David Oceanic, who puts this in the live chat. Of course. What was I thinking? Mandalorian Season 3. They might even have some sizzle stuff to show us for that. Some people are mentioning Echo. Some people are mentioning a 10 Ring show. I don't think so. Aiden is saying Eternals prequel, of course, because the writers talked about that yesterday. I don't think they're going to do an Eternals prequel. Some people are saying maybe maybe they'll talk about the Agatha show. That's very possible. Of course, Percy Jackson. Thomas in the live chat is mentioning Percy Jackson. Listen, there's a lot of stuff that could be on the thing. Bad Batch Season 2 is something. Werewolf by Night, if that's what it's called. Some people are talking about a Solo sequel show. I don't think they're going to go back to Solo. I'll be honest with you. Lando they can do. I don't think they're going to go back to a Solo show. But now watch this. They totally announced a Solo show. By the way, I'd be totally down for a Solo show. I'd be totally down for it. I don't know if they're going to do that. Oh, but here, listen. Luke 1234, I think, also nailed one of the things they will definitely be announcing. And that's this. Price increase. Listen, they've already done price increases. They're going to continue to increase the price of Disney Plus every year for the next number of years. The price of Disney Plus is just going to keep going up and up and up and up. So yes, I absolutely think that's going to be in there too. Look, guys, just look at this short list. Just this short list. Obi-Wan, Boba Fett, Hawkeye, Moon Knight, Andor, Ms. Marvel, She-Hulk, possibly a new Daredevil series. I doubt it. Ahsoka casting news, Secret Invasion, the Wakanda series, a Lando possibility. What if Season 2, Shogun, Mandalorian, price increases. Listen, this is nowhere near. This is nowhere near complete. They're going to get a lot of stuff at Disney Plus Day tomorrow. I hope. But then again, I was pretty much this excited for DC Fandom Part 2, and that totally shit the bed. So hopefully Disney doesn't completely shit the bed on this. But because the potential for tomorrow's live stream is a lot of fun. There's a lot of fun that could potentially be coming here. So I'm looking forward to it. Don't forget. Now, do you guys know exactly what time I just heard it was going to be noon Pacific Standard Time, but some of you guys in the live chat said it wasn't. Do you guys actually have an official starting time? Los Angeles time for when it's starting. Lloyd Lester is saying 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Fanjecture, I tend to trust Fanjecture. Fanjecture says 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which would be what, 8 o'clock? 8 a.m. here? 8 a.m. Los Angeles time? That'd be pretty early. So now some people are saying 6 a.m. Some people are saying 8:45 a.m. So basically the answer is none of you know. None of us know right now. I will go online and I'll contact somebody over at Disney. I'll find out for sure. But yes, I will put up on my social media tonight what time we're going to be doing our live stream, and that will be happening tomorrow. All right, guys. Question is for you. What do you think we're going to get in Disney Plus Day tomorrow? Or maybe more specifically, what are you most looking forward to tomorrow? What is the one property you are most excited to maybe get our first look at or hear our first bit of news about? Whatever that is, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Okay, guys, I want to take a second now and talk to you guys about the people who are bringing you today's episode of the John Campea Show, and that is the good folks over at Raycon. Here is an absolute true story. I was using one of the bigger, more well-known brands of earbuds, kind of lost them. That happens with the earbuds. So when I was looking into getting another set of earbuds, I was watching one of my favorite YouTube channels, and they were talking about these things. They were talking about Raycon, the earbuds Raycon, and they're saying, hey, they sound really good. They're like half the price of the big, more major recognizable ones. And I was like, okay, I should check these things out. Got them. The moment I took them out of the case and popped them in my ear, immediately, pairing mode. They connected to my phone so fast, so easy. They're comfortable. They sound great. And just like they said in that one ad, they're like half the price of the big league earbud brands that are out there right now. I just was using these this morning on my treadmill again. I could not be happier. 32-hour battery life, 8 straight hours of playback time, super comfortable. And hey, listen, guys, it's Christmas. Christmas season is upon us. So whether you want to get a gift for yourself, these things, earbuds make a great gift for anybody. If you're stuck with what to get somebody, everybody uses earbuds and needs earbuds these days. Just go on over to www.buyraycon.com/Campea. You'll be getting some great earbuds. You'll be getting a discount as well. So once again, go to www.buyraycon.com/Campea or click on the link that's down in the description below. And we want to thank the good folks over at Raycon for supporting and sponsoring our video today. All right, guys. With that down, let's move over into our main topics today. And how do we select our main topics here in the John Campea Show? Well, it's really rather simple. You see, you guys come up with them. Whenever you come across a big topic, issue, or story that you guys feel we need to cover as a main topic on the show, just go anytime 24/7 over to www.thejohncampeashow.com/contact. Once you guys get there, you're going to see a form. Fill it out with your topic or question. It's totally free. Hit submit, and then maybe, just maybe, you might see your submission featured as a main topic here on the John Campea Show. With that down, let's move on to main topic number 1. And our first main topic today gets submitted to us by Jowl Edits, who writes, "Hey, John, interesting news. Deadline just reported that a Roadhouse remake is in the works with Jake Gyllenhaal in talks to star and Doug Liman in talks to direct. I'm kind of torn on this because I feel like I don't care about this, but it is off to a pretty good start with this talent behind it. What are your thoughts?" All right, thanks for saying that in, man. And listen, I don't think it's an exaggeration to say one of the ultimate dude movies, one of the ultimate guy movies. Not that not everybody can enjoy them, of course that, but just like chick flicks, everybody, I love a good chick flick. I don't care. But like one of the ultimate dude movies is Roadhouse with Patrick Swayze and Sam Elliott. Be nice. Be nice. I love this movie. It is bad in so many ways. It is like, it epitomizes the kind of cheesiness that machismo action films of that era carried, but it didn't matter because it did it to such beautiful and brilliant perfection. That fight by the river where he tore the man's throat out. Patrick Swayze in Roadhouse. Are you kidding me? Anyway, love this movie. Oh my gosh, I'm seeing Hosea XCI saying that you've never seen it. Hosea, what are you doing with your life, man? Come to Jesus. Watch Roadhouse, my dude. Go watch Roadhouse. It's fantastic. Anyway, there was word a little while ago about a Roadhouse remake being done, but with Ronda Rousey. Remember that? that quickly kind of went away. And now we're hearing that not only they're looking at getting this thing going, but they're talking about getting a guy like Jake Gyllenhaal. This comes to us from the folks over at Joe Blow, who write the following. The original Roadhouse starred Patrick Swayze as Dalton, as a cooler hired to help clean up the Double Deuce, one of the rowdiest bars in Missouri. The film has become a cult favorite over the years, and there have been various attempts at remaking the movie. Last we heard, Nick Cassavetes was set to write and direct a Roadhouse remake that would have starred Ronda Rousey, but that project wound up falling apart. No kidding. It's not known if this latest Roadhouse project will be a straight-up remake or a new take on the concept, and it's not certain if Jake Gyllenhaal will be playing Dalton or a new character. All right, that comes to us again from the good guys over at Joe Blow. And I will simply say this. Why on earth would you do a Roadhouse remake if you're not going to be Dalton? I was like saying, oh yeah, let's do a Star Trek reboot. Oh great, who's playing Captain Kirk? No, we don't have Captain Kirk. We have Captain Frank. Yeah, Captain Frank. What? Yeah, it's a thing. How you can't do a Star Trek reboot and have Captain Frank? So I don't know what that's. I don't know how you do. If you're going to do a Roadhouse reboot, I mean, I'm totally good with doing a reboot. You guys know my feelings on this. I'm okay with rebooting anything. Hell, reboot Star Wars if you want. It doesn't hurt the original films that I know and love already. Doesn't hurt them at all. And if you make a good reboot, great. We have a great new movie to celebrate. And if it's bad, oh well, we sweep it under the rug and we forget it. Who cares? Do a reboot of Roadhouse. But if you're going to do a reboot of Roadhouse, I don't know how on earth you do it without Jake Gyllenhaal playing Dalton. It's got to be Dalton. And he's got to have a guy brag to him about, fucking other guys in prison like him. You got to have him ripping out somebody's throat. These are all things that are absolute must-haves in a Roadhouse reboot. You got to do it. Okay, so what do I think about Jake Gyllenhaal taking over the iconic role left behind by Patrick Swayze? Gyllenhaal's a great choice. A great choice for a couple of reasons. Number one, the most important reason is Jake Gyllenhaal is an Academy-level actor. Jake Gyllenhaal is an Academy Award-level actor. I know he doesn't have an Academy Award on his mantle, but he is an Academy Award-level actor. So that is by far, number one, first and foremost, most important thing, he's a terrific actor. Reason number two is he's a great fit. He's a terrific fit. Like, it is not the most important thing that somebody looks like something, that's not it, but do they kind of fit the embodiment of that role? And I would say that Jake Gyllenhaal really, on top of being a terrific director, has the added, or a terrific actor, I should say, has the added bonus of also being a really good fit for the role. I think he'd be fantastic in it. So straight up, this news to me sounds fantastic because number one, I'm all for them rebooting Roadhouse, all for it. Because if nothing else, it'll draw attention to the original Roadhouse and more people will finally check out the Patrick Swayze Roadhouse. That happens every time a reboot. That's proven. That happens every time a reboot gets made. More people check out the original than had been checking it out before. So that, at minimum, that's the good thing that can happen. Maybe this movie will be great too, and I'd love to see Jake Gyllenhaal do this. So anyway, guys, that's my take on it. Question is for you. What do you think, number one, about them doing a Roadhouse reboot? Number two, what do you think about the idea of Jake Gyllenhaal playing Dalton? Which, I mean, he's got to play Dalton, right? He's absolutely got it. I can't imagine nothing. Whatever you guys think about it, jump on down to the comments section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, let's move on to main topic number two. And our second main topic today gets submitted to us by Ben Ellman, who writes, I just read a report from Insider that MoviePass co-founder Stacy Spikes has bought the company back and is exploring a relaunch with much better programs like AMC A-List and Regal Unlimited available now, and the failed history of MoviePass. What purpose is there to bringing it back from the dead in 2022? Thanks, and keep up the great work. All right, Ben, thanks a lot for sending that in, man. Yeah, look. One of the most infamous stories in the world of movies over the past couple of years has been the incredible rise and the spectacular fall of MoviePass. Now look, MoviePass started out as a really great idea. It started out as a great idea. This notion that, hey, you know what if you could pay one flat monthly fee, and for that monthly fee, you can go to as many movies as you want for one flat monthly fee. It was a great idea. It was built off the idea that Cineworld in the UK had already been doing. Like Cineworld in the UK was doing it long before MoviePass. But it was a wonderful idea to bring it in and say, look, this won't be limited to just one theater chain. Let's bring it in. Let's get this thing going and see if it can be beneficial for the movie industry and beneficial for movie-going audiences. And so on that principle, they launched MoviePass. Now, what later happened was tremendously unfortunate because another company took it over. And when they took it over, they decided to turn MoviePass into a giant scam. They decided to take MoviePass and try to make it a weapon to blackmail movie theaters and studios into giving them money, or else they would withhold all their subscribers from certain movies and studios and movie theater chains. And they reduced the price to $10 a month, which was never going to be sustainable. Never in a million years was going to be sustainable. And then all of a sudden, users who were paying their dues all of a sudden couldn't use their app. It's like, okay, I showed up at the movie theater. Let's go see this movie. What do you mean I can't see this movie? What do you mean I don't get to see this movie? What are you talking about? And they started screwing over their customers. They were hemorrhaging money until they finally bankrupted themselves and went out. And that is the story of MoviePass. But now we get this story that the original creator has just bought it back and wants to relaunch it. Is this a good idea? You know what? Maybe. This comes to us from the folks over at Business Insider who write the following. I can confirm, this is of course Spikes, the creator of MoviePass. I can confirm that we have acquired MoviePass out of bankruptcy on Wednesday, which is great. Spike said in a statement to Business Insider, we are thrilled to have it back and are exploring the possibility of relaunching soon. Our pursuit to reclaim the brand was encouraged by the continued interest from the movie-going community. We believe, if done properly, let's repeat those three words, if done properly, theatrical subscription can play an instrumental role in lifting movie-going attendance to new heights. And again, that comes us from the folks over at Business Insider. All right, you ask a really good question in your email. And that question you ask in the email is, what would be the point of trying to redo MoviePass after it spectacularly failed? I'll tell you what the point is. Let's not let our last memory of MoviePass be what defines it, in that one company took it over, they completely corrupted it, they turned it into a Ponzi scheme in many ways, they used it to try to blackmail it. Yeah, it was awful. But before that company took it over, MoviePass was a reasonable service. I think in LA, I paid like $35 a month. I might not be remembering that completely right, but I think it was around $35 a month I was paying for it. And I got to go see a whole ton of movies, and it was a great value for me. And it was priced enough that MoviePass was able to make money. Not $10 a month, but $35 a month. They were able to make money, and I was able to go see a lot of movies, and it was wonderful. Since that time, though, you're right. We now have AMC A-List. We now have Regal Unlimited. Alamo Drafthouse has their own thing. Cinemark has their own thing. Everybody's rolling out their own kind of movie club or movie subscription services. But I honestly think that there is room for a movie subscription service if done right. I think there is room for a movie subscription service that covers more than one movie theater chain. Because the only drawback about these wonderful programs like AMC A-List, Regal Unlimited, is that I'm an AMC A-List member. But, if me and my friends are hanging out in Chino or something like that, and there's a Regal there, I can't use my A-List at that Regal. I can't use my A-List at the Landmark theaters in LA. There's some great Landmark theaters in LA. I can't use that to go to an Edwards Cinema. I can't use that to go to an Alamo Drafthouse. There's a great Alamo Drafthouse here in LA. I can't use it for that. That's the inherent drawback of all these movie subscription services. They're fantastic, they're wonderful, but they do have their drawbacks. So in that environment, I think, theoretically speaking, something like a MoviePass that is movie theater brand agnostic, that will work in multiple types of movie theaters, priced reasonably, probably $30, $40 a month. But that 30, 40, hell, I'll even say this, 50. I'll even say $50 a month. Does a $50 a month card offer value to me? Absolutely it does. Absolutely it does. Because remember, in LA, the average ticket cost is about $17 for a movie ticket. So I get a MoviePass as long as I see 3 movies in any movie theater I want to go to, or almost any movie theater. I can go to Regal, I can go to AMC, I can go to Cinemark, I can go to Draft House. If you can make it that it does that, and you price it rationally so it's sustainable for a company, I'm just saying there is room there that a product like that could fill a need and therefore work. And what's the secret to business? Find a need that's out there and fill it. And I think there is a need now, as we start to use these movie subscription services more and more, there is a need to have a service that gets us into more than just one movie theater chain. Can MoviePass do it? Can they succeed? Can they crawl out of the ashes like a phoenix rising? I don't know. It's going to be a tough thing to sell, especially with MoviePass's name being really, really mud right now because of the way it was run into the ground by the last owners. But I think there's some possibilities here. Question is for you guys. What do you think about the idea of MoviePass coming back, now back under the original owner who did a pretty good job running it when he was owning it before? He owns it again. Do you think there's a need for it? Do you think people would respond to it? Whatever your thoughts are, jump down into the comment section below and leave your thoughts there. Okay, guys. With that down, let's move on to main topic number 3. And our third main topic today gets submitted to us by Janet Ann, who writes, "Hi, John and crew. So, I'm wondering, as we anticipate the final trailer for No Way Home, what's going on? I'm not worried, but we're just 1 month away. Even Endgame wasn't this secretive. Do you have any updates on when the trailer will drop? We are in the home stretch and they got to amp up very, very soon. It's been so silent." All right. Thanks a lot for sending that in. And yeah, listen, the fact of the matter is we already have a SpiderMan No Way Home trailer. But it's not crazy to ask and wonder about where is the second one? We've had the first one for a while. We are now about 1 month out from the movie actually releasing. Where's the second trailer? What's going to be in the second trailer? What's the holdup of a second trailer? Obviously, there's nothing to worry about. We've already had trailers, but where is this second one? A lot of things to speculate about. And we've speculated about what's going to happen with Spider-Man No Way Home trailer here for a bit now. But question is, when do we think it's going to come out? Well, I think I have an idea as to when I think we're going to get a Spider-Man No Way Home trailer number 2. For that, first of all, let's go read over what TechRadar had to say. TechRadar says the following. Marvel films are now offering shorter windows between pre-orders for tickets and the film release date than in previous years. Shang-Chi tickets only went on sale 18 days before the release, as did Eternals. Spider-Man 3 releases on Friday, the 17th of December. So, if Marvel continues this trend, then we can expect to see pre-orders for tickets go on sale at the end of November. And once again, that comes to us from the folks over at TechRadar. Now, something that needs to be pointed out here quite accurately is that Spider-Man No Way Home is not being released by Disney. It's being released by Sony. So just because Disney has been following that sort of ticket release schedule doesn't necessarily mean that's what Sony will do, but I think it's likely. I think Sony will recognize they've had success over at Marvel with when they time their tickets going on sale releases, and I think they'll mimic it, and I agree with TechRadar. I think we're looking at the end of November. I think we're looking in about 2 weeks. We're going to get tickets going on sale. But John, you might be saying to yourself, what the hell does when the tickets go on sale have to do with when are we getting a second trailer? Fair question. I believe they're connected. You guys remember what happened with Endgame, right? They dropped that trailer at the same time that they were announcing the tickets were going on sale. They are going to, I feel very, very confident, no insider information, but I feel pretty damn confident. I'm totally in agreement with Tech Advisor here that we are going to see the next Spider-Man trailer. And when that trailer drops, the last thing that we're going to see on the trailer is going to be do-do-do, do-do-do, do-do-do. Oh no, look out, Doctor Strange. Oh, Peter, quick duck, blah, 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 blah. And then the last screen we're going to see, did you like my impression of the music and the blah, 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 blah? That's me. I'm the next John Williams. But anyway, the last thing we're going to see on that screen is tickets on sale now. That's what they're going to end with that. Remember they did that with Endgame. And do you remember what happened? Freaking ticket sales broke the internet. They broke the internet. They did the same thing for one of the Star Wars movies too. That is becoming a pattern for these big blockbuster movies is you launch your second, final, whatever trailer, and it ends with tickets on sale now. You just watch this trailer, you can get the tickets for it right now. So for me, agreeing with what they wrote in Tech Advisor, I think they're going to release the next Spider-Man No Way Home trailer when the tickets go on sale. And I believe if they follow the pattern that Marvel had been following, I believe that means 17, 18, 19, 20 days out from when the movie releases. And that puts us right at the end of November. It still gives us them a couple of weeks to sell tickets. So I'm thinking November 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th, somewhere in there. I think that's when the trailer's going to drop. And when it does, it's going to be tickets on sale now. How will those ticket sales go? Well, I have a thought about that too. And it has to do with what I think is going to be in this trailer. Because you guys know I've said for a long time, I believe that if Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are in this movie, you don't sit on that. You don't sit on it. You put it in a trailer, maybe the final trailer that you have going into the movie. Because you show a Spider-Man No Way Home trailer and you show Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire in that Spider-Man No Way Home trailer. And then you end that trailer with tickets on sale now. Goodbye. Goodbye. Whatever, pandemic era box office records there are, goodbye. Gone. As I said yesterday, they will sell all the tickets. They will sell all the tickets. Now, like I said yesterday as well, I'm afraid that what you just heard me say was they will sell a lot of tickets. That's not what I said. I said they will sell all the tickets. They'll sell them all. They'll be gone. It'll be like trying to buy a PlayStation 5. Good luck. You're going to be scavenging around. People are going to be scalping their tickets to opening night Spider-Man No Way Home on eBay for like $300. Good luck. They put out that trailer 2.5 weeks before the movie comes out, and they show Garfield and Maguire in it because Sony is about wanting to sell movie tickets. This ain't show friends, as Robert Meyer Burnett says. It's show business. Sony is in the business to sell movie tickets. They know showing Garfield and Maguire in the trailer, if they're in the movie, putting them in the trailer is going to sell all the tickets. And I'm telling you what, you better be at your computer when that trailer drops. You want to go see Spider-Man No Way Home opening weekend? You better be at your computer the moment those tickets go on sale because they show those guys in the trailer, gone. Tickets are gone. Right now, the pandemic era opening weekend box office record is $91 million for Venom 2. No movie, as of right now, has opened with more to $100 million. No movie. since 2019 has opened to $100 million. Not one. I am telling you, if they just put out a standard kind of just implying, teasing little trailer again, I think you're seeing Spider-Man make about 150 million opening weekend, which would destroy the existing pandemic era record. Just destroy it. But guys, if they put Maguire and Garfield in that trailer, even if just for a moment, good luck. Good luck getting tickets. Best of luck. I honestly think you have a better chance of getting a PlayStation 5. Something I've been trying to do for months. I haven't been trying super hard, but every once in a while I check to see, can I get a PlayStation 5 today? No? All right. I guess I still have to wait more. But it's going to be nutty, guys. It's going to be absolutely nutty to try to get these things. So when do I think it's coming? I think it's going to come. I think the next trailer is going to come on the same day at the same time that they put the tickets on sale. And they'll end the trailer with tickets on sale now. When do I think the tickets are going on sale? I agree with Tech Advisor. I think we're probably looking at the end of the month. So maybe about 2 weeks from now is when we'll see it. And then what do I think we're going to see in that trailer? Since I think Maguire and Garfield are going to be in the movie, which pretty much everybody on the planet has thought for at least a year, I think they're going to put Maguire and Garfield in that trailer because it will sell all the tickets. And then best of luck of trying to get those things for opening weekend. It's going to be hard. And it's going to shatter every record. So without putting them in the trailer, I think you're looking at $150 million opening weekend, shattering the record. If they're in the trailer, I think you're looking at 200 million plus. I think you're looking at 200 million plus. So that's my guess. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? When do you think we're going to get the next trailer? When do you think tickets are going on sale? What do you think they're going to show or not show in the upcoming trailer? Whatever you guys think, jump down into the comment section below and leave us your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, let's move on to main topic number 4. And our fourth main topic today gets submitted to us by Mitchell A. And Mitchell A writes, "Hey, John, Paramount has announced that they've delayed a few of their films, but most interesting among them is WandaVision director Matt Shakman, his new Star Trek film. It was previously expected to be in the summer, but is now December 22nd, the day Disney had reserved for Patty Jenkins' Star Wars Rogue Squadron. We still don't know if Disney is holding on to it or ditching that date for something else currently. What are your thoughts on the shuffle?" All right, thanks a lot for sending that in, man. And yes, Paramount just announced a couple of big moves. One, they just moved that Star Trek movie coming out that I'm very excited about. Number one, because I'm a Star Trek fan, but number two, because you got the showrunner and the director of WandaVision, coming in to direct it. I loved WandaVision, so I'm very, very excited to see what he's going to do with it. So that's been delayed by like 6 months. Also notably, Transformers. Transformers, I think it's called Rise of the Beasts. Is that the full name of the title of the movie? Anyway, Transformers has also been moved by like a year. They moved it by like a year. What's interesting here is that the Star Trek movie has now landed on the same release date for Rogue Squadron. This comes to us from the folks over at Variety who write the following. Transformer Rise of the Beasts, a prequel in the sci-fi action franchise, has moved back a year. It was originally scheduled for June 24th, 2022, and will now open on the big screen on June 9th, 2023. A frickin' year it moved. Anyway, the still untitled Star Trek movie was supposed to premiere on June 9th, 2023, but it was delayed to December 22nd of 2023 to accommodate the shift for Transformers. The next Transformers chapter is currently scheduled to hit theaters on the same day as an untitled Sony Marvel blockbuster, which will probably be delayed. Star Trek is opening alongside Disney's Star Wars Rogue Squadron, a Patty Jenkins-directed spin-off set in a galaxy far, far away, unless one blinks. It'll be a battle of the stars at the Christmas box office. And again, that comes to us from the folks over at Variety. All right, what's going to happen here? Number one, I have no idea why they moved Transformers a year. I mean, they just announced that they were done shooting. It still has post-production to do, but, you know, the director came out and said, we're done, wrapped, woohoo! we're done shooting the movie. And it's still a long ways off, and they just delayed it a year. So I don't know what's behind that. To me, the more interesting thing is the Star Trek movie now landing on that choice Christmas season date. And what would normally in past years be considered a suicidal move, trying to release on the same day as a Star Wars movie. So why are they being this crazy? Well, it's really not that crazy at all for a couple of reasons. And actually only one big reason. The one big reason is this, is that we all know that they announced earlier that the start of production, we talked about this yesterday, the start of production on Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron movie has been delayed, but they didn't announce that they were moving the release date. They were just, moving and delaying the start of production. I'm going to go out on a limb here and guess that I don't think this movie's going to happen at all. I've been thinking about this more and more. I had some doubts yesterday, but the more I think about it, I don't think this Patty Jenkins Rogue Squadron movie is going to happen at all. Now, again, this comes from no insider information. I'm not stating this as fact. Don't, go running off and telling people John Campea said it's official. No, I'm just saying, I don't think that movie's happening at all. But even if that Rogue Squadron movie is happening, there's no way it's going to make that release date. No way. Not a chance. It was going to comfortably make their release date. If in fact they started shooting when they said they were going to start shooting it in 2022, but with it being delayed and not even announcing when it's delayed to, it's now not on the production schedule. So even though they haven't come out and said, oh yeah, we can't start production now, but they haven't come out and said that we're moving the release date. I don't think there's any way they're moving the release date. So Star Trek moving to that date, I think is perfectly safe. I think it's a perfectly safe release date for them. So listen, Star Trek Paramount just got handed a gift. You get to release your Star Trek movie in that prime Christmas season, and you don't have to worry about a Star Wars movie because it's moving out. Because I don't even think that thing's happening. Now, it's going to be interesting to keep our eyes on why Transformers got bumped an entire year. We'll keep our eyes on that. I do want to know about that. But for me, it's really quite good news day. It's a very good news day if you're a Star Trek fan, because now you get this really choice release date because Star Wars is gone. Anyway, guys, what are your thoughts on this? Why do you think they moved Transformers? Do you like the idea of taking Star Trek and moving it into a now available Christmas date? Do you think maybe somehow, some way that Star Wars Rogue Squadron movie is still going to be able to come out on that date? I don't see how. But whatever you guys are thinking, jump down into the comment section below and leave us your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, let's move into main topic number 5. It's been a long show today already, hasn't it? And our 5th main topic today gets sent in to us by Elijah M., who writes, "Grand greetings." Well, thank you, Elijah. I was watching the news this morning, and they said that Disney Plus only managed to pull like 2 million new subscribers this entire quarter when they had originally projected to bring in about 10 million new ones. What do you think is the cause for this slowdown, and do you think they can get their momentum back? All right, thanks a lot for sending that in, man. Appreciate that. And yeah, listen, the story of Disney Plus up until now has been the story of grand victory after grand victory after grand victory. It's been a story of victory. Huge launch numbers, huge growth trajectory after launch, massive growth as a result of the pandemic. I mean, you hate to talk about, listen, a lot of people suffered, a lot of people lost their lives, a lot of terrible, terrible things have happened. You hate talking about the good thing that came out of the pandemic, but if you're in the streaming game, you probably benefited a lot from the pandemic because everybody was staying home and everybody was signing up for, you saw huge growth numbers in both Netflix, obviously Disney Plus. There's a lot of growth in there. And it kind of felt like the party was never going to end, right? Because it was just victory after victory after victory after victory for Disney Plus. That has been the story of Disney Plus up till now. Well, this last quarter, it took a little bit of a shocking downturn. Anyway, this comes just from the folks over at Variety who wrote the following. The number making 2 million new subscribers in the last quarter, the number was well short of Wall Street forecasts, which had pegged around 10 million new subscribers added. Analysts on average expected Disney Plus subscribers to reach 126.2 million for the quarter, per FactSet. In September, CEO Bob Chapek had cautioned that Disney expected the streamer's growth to slow down from the prior quarter to increase by a net of low single-digit millions of subscribers. Citing, in part, COVID-related production delays, the results sent Disney stock tumbling in after-hours trading, with shares falling more than 4% in one day. 4% in one day. So the question becomes, why? Why did Disney's, and Disney Plus, I should say, why did Disney Plus's ridiculous, earth-shattering, triumphant, onward and upward trajectory of growth suddenly hit a major bump and only bring in 20% of what they thought was going to be their grand total? They made 80% less new subscribers in the quarter than they were anticipating. At that rate, like, they've got these projections up by 2024, they're going to have like 220 million subscribers. Well, guess what? You ain't going to get to 220 million subscribers making 8 million new subscribers a year. You ain't going to do it. You ain't going to get there. So what did it? What happened? I want to suggest a couple of things here. And I don't know why I'm doing this, but I was not planning on doing this, but I'm going to open back up the Campea classroom here for a second, just to help me keep my own thoughts organized, if you guys will indulge me in doing so, that is. So let's bring back down the Campea classroom for a second. And we're going to ask the question, let's see here. We're going to ask the question, why the Disney Plus slowdown? That's what we're going to ask. Why the Disney Plus slowdown? What's going on? Why did all of a sudden this huge trajectory of growth and victory and all this kind of stuff kind of slow down? All right. I'm going to suggest one thing here. The first thing I want to suggest is this: the pandemic recovery. Just like we said a little bit earlier that, you know, in the hot days of the pandemic, we saw streaming services increase like crazy because everybody was staying home. Everybody who was intelligent and had any sense of social responsibility in the heat dog days of it were staying home, right? And they needed to keep the kiddies entertained. They needed to keep themselves from going crazy. And they were subscribing to streaming services they never even thought about subscribing to before, right when Disney was coming out and with the Disney Plus and doing huge things, boom, 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 boom. But just as that was true, fact of the matter is, the last quarter, more and more people have been going out. More and more people are going back to the movie theaters. They're going back to their restaurants. They're going back to football games. They're going back to NBA games. They're going out to parties. They're going out to family gatherings. They're going out to see their friends again. In as much as the pandemic was kind of the cause for a massive growth spurt, I think the slow but gradual recovery from the pandemic and more people getting out of the house make them feel less of a need to have to sign up to these streaming services. And I don't think Disney Plus is the only one. So yeah, that's that. Reason number 2 is the insane initial growth. Here's the thing. If you've got 100 potential customers and 80 of them sign up for your service in the first week, there's only 20 potential customers left. Now, look, I'm not saying Disney Plus has run out of potential customers, but what I am saying is this: Disney fans are particularly a rabid and loyal fan base. Because you're talking about Marvel, you're talking Star Wars, you're talking Pixar, you're talking Disney Classic, you're talking Disney fans are a particularly loyal and excitable fan base. We are. I'm a part of that. I am a loyal and excitable part of that fan base, right? And when you have everybody, as soon as this service comes on in that first year with the pandemic, you have everybody signing up for it. Well, now you've got most people signed up for it. You've got most people who are going to be interested in a Disney streaming service kind of already signed up. They've already kind of signed up. So I think the insane initial growth is actually kind of one of the things that may be causing something we're seeing a slowdown now, because so many people had already signed up for it. So I think that's one of it. Third one is this. Pace in international markets. Disney Plus has been doing a good job recently of getting their content out to international markets, but it has been a little bit slower than initially planned. They need to get more global. Netflix has been seeing incredible success with their international deals, their international content, and being in just about every international market. Disney is on its way to being that with Disney Plus, but of course, because a lot of the problems in the world, that pace has kind of slowed down a bit. But I think once you see them getting their international stuff more grounded and out there, you could see a little bit more of a growth spurt. Maybe not in North America, but that. All right. Next one is this. And now some of you may argue with me and disagree with me, and that's totally fine if you do. It's totally fine with you if you do. But there's this. Disney Plus doesn't put out nearly as much premium content as Netflix. They just don't. What was the last big thing Disney Plus released? What was it? Was it Loki? Was that it? How long ago was that? How long ago was Loki? It's been a beat. Some people are saying, what if? What if isn't that big? What if isn't that big? I mean, it's bigger than the John Campea Show. Yes, but what if wasn't that big, to be honest with you. Not everybody that was not must-see TV for a lot of people. Not a lot of average fans were watching What If, as much as they say watch Loki or WandaVision or, Falcon. But whereas Netflix, it feels like Netflix is dropping something big at the very minimum every week, but sometimes it almost feels like every day. Doesn't it feel like that? Doesn't it feel like it almost feels like Netflix is dropping at least one big major thing every week, but sometimes it feels like every day. And sometimes it's high profile stuff like a Stranger Things or a Old Guard or something like that. And a lot of times it's stuff that comes out of nowhere and surprises you, like Squid Game or Arcane. By the way, I'm really liking Arcane. That's a separate thing for another story. But I always feel like, while Netflix is totally horrible at promoting their original content, and while they do a terrible job making original movies, their original movies are really quite ass poor, with a few exceptions, obviously, with a certain percentage of exceptions, but they always have new, interesting, and potentially breakthrough pop culture encompassing content that drops several times a week, right? Now, they've also been around longer than Disney Plus. So let's cut Disney Plus some slack on that, shall we? They've been around doing this a lot longer than Disney Plus has. So there's a little bit of that there too. But yeah. I mean, somebody just mentioned Cowboy Bebop is about to drop, right? Cowboy Bebop is about to drop. So I personally think we should not be shocked at the dramatic slowdown in growth for Disney Plus for the following reasons. The pandemic recovery has more and more people going out of their homes, and that's got to be expected. The insane initial growth is eventually going to taper off, and I think that's what we're seeing here. They need to get back on pace with their international market expansion, and they are, and I think you're going to see good results from that for them. And Disney Plus, just quite frankly, doesn't put out nearly as much premium content as Netflix does. Disney Plus puts out a lot of cheap little crap that a few people are going to watch here and there, but it's not often that they put out headline grabbing stuff, and it feels like Netflix does 3 or 4 times every single week. Now, do I think this is now the end for Disney Plus? Obviously not. We got a huge Disney Plus day coming tomorrow. We just talked about that at length. I think that's going to generate a lot of interest. I think once Disney ramps up their production, we can start seeing more premium content that's not necessarily Marvel focused or Star Wars focused coming out and stuff like that. I think the future is bright for Disney Plus. I absolutely do. I hope they can fix their streaming issues when they drop episodes, because that's always frustrating as hell. All right, next episode, Mandalorian's on. Great. Play. Sorry, can't connect. What? You guys have had that problem too, right? I mean, I'm not the only one. I hope they can fix that. But anyway, that's how I see it, guys. Question is for you. What do you guys think about this slowdown that for like 80% less growth in this quarter than they were anticipating, causing a 4% drop in their stock overnight? How do you guys feel about that? Why do you think that happened? How quickly do you think they're going to recover from it? I think they will. Whatever you guys are thinking, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Okay, guys. With all that down, we're going to take your questions here in just a bit. But before we do, you guys have been firing in a whole ton of comments about the stories that we've been talking about. So let's dive on over and take a look at the comments you guys have been firing in during the show. Let me make sure I get them all here. There are a bunch that have come in. All right. Let's get through these, shall we? We're going to start things off here with one from Lindro Urena, who writes, just sends in a super chat badge to be supportive. Thank you, Lindro. James Argento writes, a Kenobi sizzle reel has leaked on YouTube, features Ewan and Chow talking about show with previs art. Oh, so it's a leak. Yeah, I saw some people firing in the live chat that it's hit online. I'm like, that's weird that they would put that out online before Disney Plus Day, but apparently it's a leak. Okay, that makes sense. We'll talk about that tomorrow. We'll talk about anything like that tomorrow. All right, Yuri Manion writes, awesome to hear about Kimberly. Love her. We love Kimberly too. It's going to be really good having her around full time. That's going to be really great. I'm sure she'll be happy to hear that. All right. Calvin Patel writes, did you see Rock's tweet reply to someone mentioning a comic strip with Black Adam and Henry Cavill Superman? I did not. Why don't you tell me what it is he said? I mean, so no, Calvin, I have not, but I'm very interested in knowing what he said. If you guys in the live chat know, let me see it. All right, next up, the Wakanda Forever writes, Wakanda show and Black Panther 2 is coming. You'll be fine, Mickey. But remember, these are 2 individual pieces of content. 2 individual pieces of content do not a streaming service make. So it's going to take more than that. All right. Dante Surichia writes, love you, buddy, but I totally disagree with your Cavill opinion. I don't think Marvel gives 2 shits about the comparison talk to Superman. I think they do. I think they do. I don't think they want, listen, Kevin Feige has always done things to try to diffuse the whole stupid, blind DC zombie fanboys against the blind Marvel zombie fanboys. Kevin Feige has always done things to try to de-escalate that, talk about how we're all in this together, talk about the whole analogy that what's good for one comic book movie is good for all comic book movies and blah, blah, blah. I think he knows, he's a smart enough guy. No, you bring in Henry Cavill, that creates that creates a circus. And so I think he does care about it. Now, you might be right, Dante, and I'll be cool with it because it'll just give us more Henry Cavill on screen. So I'm fine with that too. But I'm going to doubt it, man, but maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. All right, next up, Rylan Holman writes, I think it would be a good thing for Henry Cavill to join the MCU because it would start to help lessen the Marvel versus DC debate. If anything, man, I think it would do the exact opposite. I think it would just heighten it up and cause some animosity, but we'll see. All right, next up, Samuel Varg writes, prequels, best story, sequels, best acting, original trilogy, just best. Agree? I don't know. Prequel's best story? No. I'm not going to say you're wrong. I'll just say that I don't agree. Let's just leave it at that, Samuel. Raul Ranjan writes, John, Big H, bring media. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. John says, Big Henry will bring a media circus. Feige says, challenge accepted. Well, maybe, man. Maybe, Ralph. Black Bono Lala sends in a super chat badge just to be supportive. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Esmail Montoya writes, I hope Disney learned from failures of DC fandom. Oh, dude, I hope so. Because there are a lot of lessons to learn. Now, Disney Plus Day isn't meant to be DC fandom. It's going to be kind of a different thing, but I do think you're right. There are lessons to be learned there about the mistakes that they made. So we'll see. All right, let's see here. Next up, where did it go? There it is. Arun Baberja writes, with you talking about phones and computer tracking us and then talking about the Campea Wang, I am now worried about what I see on an ad on Recco. So just so you know, somebody wrote in yesterday and said, because I was wearing my Weird Al Yankovic white and nerdy sweatshirt, right? I had a bunch of you write in saying, what's with that sweatshirt, white and nerdy? It's a famous Weird Al Yankovic song and an even better music video. If you've never seen it, go on YouTube, look up white and nerdy music video. It's one of my favorites. Anyway, but one of our viewers wrote in yesterday, say, John, seriously, you're just on screen with a white and nerdy shirt. And I suddenly had an ad pop up for that white and nerdy sweatshirt. And we went into this bit of a discussion yesterday. So with me mentioning not just Campea Wang, it is the mighty Campea Wang. Get that right. You know, put doctor in front of it. It is the mighty Campea Wang. And now you're going to see the craziest ads pop up on your thing, man. Craziest ads popping up. All right. Let's see. K Nico writes, will Disney Plus Day stream be on the app copyrighted? I don't know if it'll be on the app. It'll definitely be copywritten. Yeah, it'll definitely be copywritten. Like, I'll be shocked. Like here's the thing. I will do the live stream. I think as long as it doesn't actually start at 6 a.m. tomorrow, we'll find that out later. I will do the live stream. But after the live stream is done, I'm probably going to delete it from my YouTube channel because I'm just going to get a bunch of copyright notices. That's what happened with DC Fandom. Once DC Fandom was done and I finished the stream, I opened up my email and there was like 7 copyright notices for DC Fandom. So I'm like, you know what? Instead of worrying about this, I'm just going to delete the video after the live stream, and I'll probably do the same for that tomorrow. So we'll see what happens there. All right. Let's see. Next one comes to us from Shiv Patel, who writes, I will support the John Campea Show in a big way, money-wise, if Disney Plus ends up being worse than DC Fandom. Don't worry, I will still try to support through small contributions. Yeah, man. Any of you who thinks that Disney Plus Day can't be a shit show, you're wrong. It can be. Because look what happened with DC Fandom. The first DC Fandom was awesome. It was really good. I mean, it had room for improvement, sure, but it was really, really well done. And I would have thought it's a no-brainer. The second one's going to be even better. Now look how that turned out. All right, let's see. Black Bono Lala writes, that will be interesting if Sony does that. Oh, if they try to drop a SpiderMan No Way Home trailer as the Disney Plus Day is streaming. Yeah, I don't think that's a good way to treat your partners, but who knows? All right, Peter Cunnington writes, Home Sweet Home Alone comes out tomorrow. Yep, so we got the new Home Alone, Jungle Cruise, Shang-Chi. There's a bunch of things that are actually releasing tomorrow on Disney Plus Day, so that's something to keep in mind too. Black Bono Lala also sends in another super chat badge just to be supportive. I appreciate that, man. All right, next up comes to us from Alma Pow, who writes, the current Captain Britain is Betsy Braddock. I would love to see him as Jamie Braddock, her older brother, who is nuts and a world warper, villain / anti-hero, so different from Superman. Yeah, I think, just my guess here, Alma, just my guess. I think if they do decide to do like a Henry Cavill as Captain Britain, I think they'll go more with like the original notion of him. I mean, it opens up a lot of doors, but I think they'll go more classic on it. But who knows? We'll have to wait and see. I just think it would be interesting to see him in the role at all. All right, next up, we've got Taki75, who writes, the presence of Toby and Andrew in No Way Home is by now the worst kept secret in Hollywood. Not showing them in the trailer would be marketing malpractice. Well, look, the reality is everybody has known that they were going to be in this movie for over a year. I mean, I was in denial about it till about 6 months ago. But I think maybe some people were, but you're right. It's the worst kept secret, but I think they always planned on showing them in it. Like, I think I even said like a year ago, if they're in the movie, they will be in one of the trailers, because trailers are meant to sell tickets, and nothing is going to sell tickets more than and besides, in this world today, just look what happened with Eternals. Look what happened with Shang-Chi. The moment those movies screen for one person, all the spoilers get out online. It's just anybody who's not at the very first couple of screenings for this movie, you're going to know about it. It's going to be everywhere. Sony knows this. And so I think they know they're just going to put them in the trailer. I could be wrong. Again, I have no insider information. I'm just speculating here. But I think they're going to put them in the trailer, and I think they will sell all the tickets. In my best Ron Swanson voice, I'm afraid you heard me say a lot of tickets. They're going to sell all the tickets. All the tickets. All right, next up. Min Tran writes, Disney is a value stock, not a growth stock. I don't expect much growth as an investor. I value the most see in the value I most see is in the dividend that they used to give. And you're right, Min Tran, there's a lot of people who invest on that thing. Like a lot of people invest for the dividend stuff. And I've never really considered Disney like that. I've never personally owned any Disney stock. But that might be something to keep in mind. All right. Next up, good observation on that, Min. Next up, we've got Frank Castle, who writes, maybe more from MCU Animation Studio. I think at the very minimum, we're going to get an announcement about stuff they've got coming from their newly developed MCU Animation Studio. All right. Next up, JSW 1198.4 writes, got missed in the live chat rush, but what non-MCU or Star Wars show do you think will be shown? Shogun, Only Murders in the Building, etc. Well, see, that's if. Because remember, internationally, it varies from market to market what content is on Disney Plus, what content is on Star, what's all included with Disney Plus. It depends on what they'll show, because technically speaking, Shogun in North America, Shogun and Only Murders in the Building is not on Disney Plus. It's on Hulu and FX, which is just other branches of their own streaming arm. If they're going to include that kind of content, then yes, I absolutely think we're going to get at least some talk about Shogun and definitely word and news about Only Murders in the Building Season 2. My wife loves that show. All right. Blackbone Olala writes, possible Young Avengers series. I doubt it, but that is something that they could do. Chris Leonardo writes, unfortunately, sorry, where'd I go? And Chris Leonardo sends in like a $25 tip. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Chris writes, unfortunate situation with the No Way Home pictures, and I appreciated hearing your story on what happened. I hope you still get invited to the premiere. I like seeing your reaction day videos. Well, listen, nobody has told me this. Nobody has told me this. But I don't think there's any way in hell I'm getting invited to the premiere of SpiderMan No Way Home. I wouldn't. I mean, look, like I said before, and I'll mention this again. While the truth of the matter is, when I had realized or had been told that those pictures could very well be real, like 5 minutes after I posted them, right? And then I deleted them. And by the time I deleted them, the analytics told me that only about 400 to 500 people had seen it. I had deleted them fast enough that only 400 to 500 people had seen it. The reality is everybody out there in the world who had seen these pictures never saw them on my Twitter. They saw them because somebody who intended to spread them screen captured my Twitter, took that, and then websites started posting it and doing all that kind of stuff. So you never saw it on my Twitter account. I deleted it pretty damn fast. As soon as I realized that they could be real, as soon as I was told that they could be real, I deleted them down, and only 400 or 500 people had seen them yet. And so if you saw the pictures, you didn't see them from me. You saw them from whoever intentionally took them and wanted everybody to see them. And that wasn't me. But even though that's true, there's another thing that's true. And it is what it is. They wouldn't be out there if I had never posted them in the first place. It doesn't matter if my intentions were good. It doesn't matter if I didn't think they were actually real. The fact of the matter, and it doesn't matter how fast I deleted them. The fact of the matter is, those people who wanted to spread them around, the people who wanted to get everybody to see the pictures. They wouldn't have had them in the first place had I not posted them up on Twitter. It's the reality. It's the reality. So in asking if I'm going to be at the thing, look, Sony hasn't told me that I'm not going to be. Marvel hasn't told me that I'm not going to be at these premieres, but I'll tell you right now, and by the way, they've gone out of their way to tell me that they know that it was completely inadvertent. Like, they have called me and said, we know it wasn't on, we know that it wasn't on purpose. We know we have a good relationship. We know you wouldn't do anything to damage our relationship. We know. But I still wouldn't invite me. The analogy I gave yesterday was, look, you might be my best friend, and maybe you totally accidentally ran my mom over. And even though I totally know it was accidental, that's going to damage our relationship. It's going to put a strain on our relationship. I will be shocked if I get invited to the SpiderMan No Way Home premiere. Totally shocked. And then again, I was totally shocked that I got invited to Shang-Chi when I had crap talked Bob Chapek so much, and they still invited me. But I will say this. I highly, highly, highly doubt I will be invited to the Spider-Man No Way Home premiere, because I certainly wouldn't invite me. It doesn't matter if it was accidental or what. It doesn't matter that I'm not the one who spread it across the world like other people did. It don't matter. I'm the one who initially put it up, and I would not be inviting me. I'm just saying that. I wouldn't invite me. But then again, I never thought I'd be invited to see to the Shang-Chi premiere either. So it is what it is. So I appreciate their well wishes, Chris. I really do. But I really do not anticipate myself getting an invite to Spider-Man No Way Home world premiere, because like I said, if it were me, I wouldn't invite me either. All right, next up. We've got Peter Cunnington, who writes, they will talk about Hocus Pocus 2. Oh, you're right. They'll definitely do a mention of that. No doubt. GC Nightwalker writes, the Disney needs to use the version of the dark side of the Force in Rise of Skywalker. I mean, it can do anything the writers wanted it to. I'm not really clear what it is you're saying there, GC. Sorry about that. Unbeatable writes, Mark Wahlberg confirmed as Wade Garrett via leaked set photos with John Campea watermark on it. Who's Wade Garrett again? I know the name. I know it's a character. Who is Wade Garrett again? Guys in the live chat, who is Wade Garrett again? I completely forget. I cannot remember. Anyway, I'll wait for you guys to write that in there. Praying for Kevin Feige for Ghost Rider. I don't think look, I think eventually a Ghost Rider is coming, but I don't think it's anytime soon. All right. Stefan Dylan Routers writes, I'm most looking forward to learn about Disney Plus original movies like Peter Pan and Wendy, Pinocchio, Chip and Dale, Rescue Rangers. Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of that stuff. I'm sure there is going to be a bunch of that stuff. No doubt about that, Stefan. All right, next up. Fanjecture, our friend Fanjecture writes in and says, Disney Plus Day starts at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time with content dropping all day on social media. The streams on Disney Plus are at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for Pixar and 8:45 Pacific Standard Time for MCU. Set that alarm. Thank you for sending that in, Fanjecture, and I will go and look that up as soon as we're done. Appreciate that, man, very much. Next up, Alex Von Gollum writes, I think Disney should produce a series about the High Republic beside of Acolyte. Haven't read the books, but the tenets of the era look fascinating. I don't think that's a big stretch, because Disney and Lucasfilm seem to have big plans for the High Republic stuff. I read the first book in the High Republic thing, and it's not bad. It's not bad, but I never felt motivated to go and read the second one. But Alex, I do think they are pretty invested in doing a lot of High Republic stuff. All right, Victor Vodka writes, the greatest beer run ever is filming in my hometown of Jersey City, New Jersey. Lots of extras as Vietnam War protesters, and I got to see Zac Efron himself. That's cool. You know, our own Erin Cummings actually auditioned for that. She almost played, although she's too young to play it, she almost played Zac Efron's mom in that, which is kind of crazy when you think about it, but she almost got that. Anyway, that's cool that you had that experience, Victor. K Major writes, I did some digging and was able to find on TechRadar that Disney Plus Day will start on Friday, November 12th at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Again, but when does the actual presentation, when are they actually announcing content? That might be thing. You know what? If this is an all-day thing, then I probably won't be doing a live stream. I got to look into it a little bit more. I got to look into it more closely. All right, next up. PXZ writes, congratulations to the upgrade of of the John Campea Show. Thank you so much, man. I'm really excited about Ray starting up and Kim starting up full time and having Rob back in the studio. It's going to be a good time. John Emir Singleton writes, MoviePass is like a cat with 9 lives. It just keeps getting back. But remember, as you're thinking about MoviePass, this isn't the corrupt criminals who ran it into the ground. This is the guy who originally started and did a pretty good job when he did start it. All right, next up, the Scarlet Witch writes, Marvel Studios rebooting 90s X-Men animated show. Is that, I can't remember if that's true or not. I know they're putting out this show, but are they rebooting it, or are you just guessing they're going to announce that tomorrow? We'll see. All right, Pablo Zuinga writes, I totally agree. Where are we at? I totally agree. Not sitting on the Toby and Andrew trailer appearance. I know a lot of people who aren't fans of the MCU, but do like the older Spider-Man movies. I'm just telling you, do any of you disagree? Do any of you disagree that if they put out the next trailer and they show Andrew and Toby in it, that it's going to sell all the tickets? Do any of you disagree? Do any of you not think that's going to bust the internet? Of course it's going to bust the internet. All right. Jose Ramirez writes, John, do you think that Marvel Studios will make a film for Disney Plus exclusive like Nova, Ghost Rider, and other characters? Well, they already are. Yeah, that's happening. And it's not even Kevin Feige's choice. Kevin Feige doesn't have a say in it. That's one of the screwed up things about the way Bob Chapek has now reorganized the company. Kevin Feige doesn't get to decide where his content goes. He's got a former banker that's his boss now that makes those decisions. So Marvel Studios is going to make content, and then they're going to get told where it's going. Kevin Feige doesn't get a say. I mean, I'm sure they'll ask him his opinion, but he doesn't get to make that decision anymore, which to me is actually pretty screwed up. All right. Let's see. Next up. Rylan Holman writes, part of me still thinks there was a decent chance that for the second trailer, they will not show Toby or Andrew. Absolutely, there's a chance. You're absolutely right about that, Rylan. I don't disagree with you on that at all. John Redcorn writes, what if they show Venom in the No Way Home trailer? Well, considering what happened in Venom 2, that wouldn't be the craziest thing. I don't expect that. But it absolutely would not be the craziest thing we could possibly see. Like, not at all. Nick writes, I've always thought that they will probably drop the final Spider-Man trailer the day before Thanksgiving. You got to forgive me. I'm Canadian. I can't remember when American Thanksgiving is. The day before Thanksgiving, families gathering, they can talk about the trailer at the dinner table and buy some tickets. You know what, Nick? I think what you just said makes a lot of sense, man. I think what you just said makes a lot of sense. I could totally see that happening. A little bit earlier than what I was predicting, but that makes a total ass full of sense. I wouldn't be surprised about that either. All right. Fanjecture writes, I'm worried that what you just heard me say, this is the Ron Swanson quote. I'm worried that what you just heard me say was, give me a lot of bacon and eggs. What I said was, give me all the bacon and eggs. The great Ron Swanson, ladies and gentlemen. That's where I made that line of, I'm afraid you heard me say Sony's going to sell a lot of tickets. What I said was, they're going to sell all the tickets. All right, Captain Brad Brickley writes, final trailer, Doc Ock says, hello, Peter. Then all 3 Spider-Men turn towards the camera. Tickets on sale now. Totally see it. Yep. Ba, 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 ba. Tickets on sale now. Hello, everybody. My name's Andrew McGuire. I'm Toby Garfield. Yes. And tickets on sale now, and they sell all the tickets. I can totally see it happening that way, Cap. I totally can see it happening that way. All right, next up. Unbeatable writes, can they make a new Roadhouse with Chris Pratt as Andy Dwyer just standing in front of the camera, actively retelling the story? You totally picked up on that from that Parks and Rec. Absolutely. I would love it. Sell all the tickets. Again, sell all the tickets. The Scarlet Witch Project writes, are you sure it's a live stream? This isn't Investor Day. I'm not 100% sure. No. I had some people tell me it is. I've had some people tell me it isn't. I got to look into it. If it is a live stream for a couple hours, I'll live stream along with it. If not, then I'll just do the John Campea Show at my regular time at 10 a.m. and we'll talk about the stuff they have announced. Next up, Crystal MS writes, from D23.com, Disney Plus Day, starting 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for first looks and trailers on social media. On Disney Plus, 8 a.m. for Pixar presentation, 8:45 a.m. for the Marvel presentation. All right, there you go. So I'm going to have to look in to see what is it specifically they're going to be dropping there. Thank you for that, Crystal. That is very, very helpful. Appreciate that very much, Crystal. John Demoto just sends in a super chat badge to be supportive. Thank you, man. Raul Ranjan writes, Eternals box office 162 million, second highest opening weekend of 2021. Here's the thing. You only count opening weekend for domestic and for a lot of different reasons. So I don't think that really counts, Raul. Dion Lee writes, do you think Zendaya could be secretly playing Green Goblin, judging from poster, very similar body types? Look, this is going to sound weird, but from a distance, Zendaya and Willem Dafoe probably have very similar body types. I think, is it not fair to say that Willem Dafoe is lanky? Is that not fair? To say that Willem Dafoe is lanky? I think so. I think it is. I think it's fair to say he's a lanky guy, right? Well-toned, muscular, but lanky. So yeah, it's kind of, but I don't think they're going to make, although one thing that could back up your theory is I remember Zendaya is not Mary Jane Watson. Zendaya is not Mary Jane. She's a different character who also happens to have the initials MJ, but she's not Mary Jane Watson. So theoretically, you could do that, but I don't think they will. All right, the last one that got sent in comes to us from Raul, who writes, let me put my conspiracy hat on. Sony coming after Disney Week. What if Sony and Marvel planned a trailer release at Disney Plus? Considering VFX pics appeared to be complete from trailer, or maybe I'm reaching. Again, there's two reasons, very important reasons not to believe that they were ever planning on putting a Spider-Man No Way Home. Because number one, it's not a Disney Plus thing, and Disney is trying to focus on Disney Plus tomorrow. And number two, it's a Sony thing. So even if Sony and Disney wanted to work together, the reality is Disney wants Disney Plus to be the center of attention tomorrow. I don't think they're going to want to distract from all the stuff they're promoting on Disney Plus Day with a Spider-Man No Way Home trailer. Look, anything's possible, but that's how I kind of see it playing out. That's just me. Okay, guys, thank you to everyone who sent in your live observations and thoughts and comments there. Thank you very much for that, guys. So for now, let's jump on over and start taking the topics you guys have emailed in and sent in, the stories, the things, the questions you have that you want us to talk about. So let's go on over and do that now. By the way, I know we're getting a little bit long here, but we're going to make today's show a little long. Do you guys mind? Is that okay? Now, normally we wrap things up by 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We usually end things on the 2-hour mark. I think we're going to go a little long today because we had like 7 main topics to talk about today. You guys had a lot of thoughts. We got a bunch of questions here. Let's go a little bit long today. Maybe we'll go 15 minutes long. Maybe we'll go a half hour long. I don't know. Let's start although here. We're going to go over to Zevia's Soggy Ass writes, hey, John and Rob. Rob's not here today. He's never here on Thursdays. But by the way, if you want to see Rob, just go see the Eternals open spoiler discussion part 3 that we just put up this morning. Rob was kind enough to host that one. Okay. Is Disney Plus Day an online event like DC Fandom, or is it just a day where their social media will be releasing posts all day with news along with new releases planned for the actual Disney Plus app? It sounds like a little bit of both because they're dropping a bunch of things early, but then they also specified a Pixar presentation and an MCU presentation. So we'll see, Zevia. Next up, Virtuoso Z writes, 1 of 3. Love your show, John. Thank you, Virtuoso. I love having you here. Please allow me to gripe about something for a second. A pet peeve of mine is when a character in a fictional work references a real-life book or movie of the same genre. It really breaks my immersion. Example, in a zombie movie, a character says, this can't be happening, this is like a horror film. Then 10 minutes later, the camera pans past the TV set and George Romero's Night of the Living Dead is playing on the screen. Ugh. That's the director instantly breaking my immersion in their film. Like, how can I take your MCU superhero movie film seriously if your character starts name-dropping make-believe DC heroes? When a new villain laughs, someone will say, oh, he's just like the Joker. Is it just me or is it distracting? Well, here's what I'll say, Virtuoso. I see where you're coming from on that. It can be distracting. But to me, if if it just makes it feel like the normal world. Like, here's the thing. Horror films are scarier when it feels like it could be in our world. Sci-fi or like superhero films, it's when the fantastical's within the mundane, when it actually feels like we're in our world. Like when Captain America is walking down the street and we see a Ford car drive, or he's driving a Ford truck. Well, Ford's a real thing in our real world. And does that take us out of it? No. If he goes into McDonald's, or do we go, well, McDonald's is a real thing in our real world, that pulls me out of it? I would say no. Actually, to me, little things like that make it, to me personally, feel a little bit more grounded. Like when they go into Shang-Chi's bedroom, like not the one at the compound, but actually his garage apartment at the beginning of Shang-Chi, and you see a Kung Fu Hustle poster up on the wall, to me, that just makes it feel a little bit more grounded. You know what I mean? That makes it feel just a little bit more grounded. So I think, I just think that it doesn't take away from me. It actually has the opposite effect. But listen, man, you're a different individual than me. So those things are going to hit you a little differently than they hit me. But since you're asking me personally, I think it goes towards making it feel a little bit more relatable. That's just that. By the way, Blackbone Olana and Iconic Reactions both send in super chat badges in the live chat. Thank you guys. Appreciate that. Okay, next up. We go to Bernard Gayton, who writes, and tips in like $20. Thank you, Bernard, for supporting our channel on that level, man. John, thank you for not just giving us a community, but for also spreading kindness. Adopt a family. One good day, John, equals anti-Joker. Also, I want a movie that's a House of Cards, but in the MCU with government trying to figure out how to move forward post-Eternals. That could be interesting. That's not bad. And you know what, Bernard? I want to take advantage of this. The fact that because I forgot to bring this up a little bit earlier during the show. We are in now mid-November. So we're getting closer and closer to Christmas. It is the Christmas season. And every year around this time, Ann and I encourage you guys every year. We talk about, because this is something you can definitely get involved in. It's number one, it's a lot of fun. Number two, it's soul opening, I think. And number three, you can actually make a really big impact on somebody who could really use it. The Joker says all it takes is one bad day. Well, don't underestimate the power of one good day. Every year, Ann and I participate, and we talk to you guys about it every year in something called Adopt a Family. We've been doing it for like 7 years. You can get a hold of your local municipality and say, we want to adopt a family. And what that does is they will match you up with a family in need. Maybe it's a couple who is having a really hard time making ends meet with their kids. Maybe it's a single mom with 3 kids. Maybe it's something else, but a family that can't really provide a Christmas for their own kids and stuff like that. And then what you do is you gather together any amount of money that you want, $70, $100, whatever, or get together with a couple of friends and do it together and say, pool together $300 or $400. And then what you do is you get in contact with that family. They tell you what their kids are like and whatever. Then you buy Christmas gifts for their kids and maybe get a couple things for the parents too. And you go, and I'm going to try not to cry here, but then you get to go and visit that family and you get to give them one good day. And don't underestimate the power of one good day that you get to give to somebody else. It's an amazing thing. It's an easy thing. And I think it just broadens your worldview as well. And so I want to really encourage everybody. It's just an incredible thing to do. So again, contact your local municipality. Just ask them, what do we have as far as an adopt a family programs going? See what they have available for you to do and to use, and go and do that and take advantage of that. And thank you again, my friend, Bernard, for allowing me the opportunity to highlight that again. And guys, if you do it this year, write to me and tell me about your experiences. I would love to hear about it. So Christmas is coming. Go give somebody one good day. Anyway, okay. With that down, let's keep moving on here. We now move on to Mark Nito. And Mark Nito writes, Hey, John, after watching Tom Hanks's latest flick, I was wondering if a biopic of the late Neil Peart, good Canadian kid, drummer of Rush, probably the greatest drummer of all time, the late Neil Peart and Rock and Roll Hall of Famer, could work with Tom as Neil. What are your thoughts? Bring on the filthy. Well, I mean, I don't know the story of the life of Neil Peart, so I honestly don't know if he has an interesting life to make a biopic about him. And Tom Hanks, greatest actor in the world, but obviously too old to play that role, especially if you're going to talk about the early career of Neil Peart and things like that. So probably not, but anything that has to do with Rush, man, make it Rush. Lord Genome writes, YouTube is removing the public dislike. I read about this. YouTube is removing the public dislike counter on videos. You can still see them, but your viewers can't see them. I'm guessing you don't have a strong personal opinion on it, but do you see this having a positive effect on creators? Personally, I think it will. All right. For those of you who did not read about this, you know how on every YouTube video, there's a thumbs up and thumbs down button. By the way, everybody, take a second, smash. See, I'm using the vernacular that all the YouTubers use. Smash that thumbs up button, smash that like button. Go ahead, click that like button. I never ask you guys to do that. I never ask you guys to subscribe either. I really should do both of those. But anyway, and when you load up a video, it'll show you how many likes and how many dislikes. And, you know, the John Campea Show generally gets between 91 and 96%, which is like 91 to 96% of the people who click thumbs up, and then 4 to 5% of the people click the thumbs down, right? So YouTube is talking about making the number of dislikes invisible to discourage people from hate bombing or review bombing or dislike bombing somebody else's video, right? Getting 5,000 people together to go over, let's go click dislike on this guy's video. And I understand why they're thinking about doing it, but I don't know. I would personally leave it. I mean, first of all, definitely don't take away the dislike button, because I don't know if you know this, a little secret somebody at YouTube told me. Everybody thinks dislikes hurts your video. It actually doesn't. On YouTube, engagement is king. And even a click on a dislike button equals engagement. The more engagement, the higher ranked your video becomes and the more people that see your video. And that's kind of crazy. So, you know, over the last 3 or 4 years, I've had like a couple of videos that I put out that obviously like a lot of angry people came and hit dislike. But and I'm fine with it because you're actually helping my video. And I think that's true of a lot of others as well. But again, I understand why YouTube is probably doing that. It's probably the same rationale that Rotten Tomatoes, when they saw that a lot of people were review bombing movies when they hadn't even seen the movie, and they took steps to try to correct that. Maybe YouTube sees it as a problem with just a lot of people like it's happened to Sony, right? When a lot of people started disliking Sony videos just because they hadn't released another Spider-Man trailer yet. So maybe YouTube wants to take care of that. By the way, they'll still have the thumbs down button that you can click. It's just that you're not going to see how many dislikes a video has unless you're the owner of that video. So I don't know. I'm kind of torn on it. I'm kind of torn on a little bit. I can see why they're doing it. I personally wouldn't do it, but it's all right. I can live with that. All right, next up, Fanimator writes, is the actor in the mocap suit in the image that you got RZA fans as the Lizard / Dr. Kurt Connors? Well, first of all, what makes you think on earth I'm going to announce that? I'll let you know that. I mentioned the other day that I have other pictures that I did not, because I was going to release new pictures like every 5 minutes. But then I got told that the pictures I was releasing probably real. So I'm like, delete. And then definitely don't show these other pictures that I have. And all I told people was, you'll never guess, but there is somebody in a mocap suit on set in one of the pictures that I have. But I said, you're never going to guess who it is. You're never going to guess. And I think a lot of people would guess Lizard Dr. Connors. So I'll let you figure that out. All right, next up, Ethan Holgate writes, hey, John, I'm so happy to hear they're thinking of doing a prequel series on Eternals. I loved all the historical timelines they visited in the movie. I felt they showed everything for the story, but part of me would have liked to have seen more to this. You know what? I already said myself, I don't think that they should do this, and I don't think that they will. But you're not alone, Ethan. I've heard from a number of people that have written to me, like yourself, saying, you know what, this could be really good. Like seeing Kingo and during the early days of Bollywood, like getting himself in there, or when he, maybe the story of when Kingo, the first time Kingo had to pretend he died and he was now his own son. Showing up to, I don't know. There could be some interesting stories there, dude. There could be some interesting stories. All right, next up, Cavill Mystery writes, "Hey, John, hope you are well. I'm doing great, thank you. This might be wild, but could Henry Cavill as Superman feature in Wonder Woman 3? It's possible. Jenkins is a fan of Reeves, with Chris Pine possibly not in it. By the way, I totally think Chris Pine will be in it, but anyway, leaves an opening for a big character. It would be huge if it happened. Yeah, it would. It could be possible. The one drawback of that, though, is you're risking Wonder Woman getting overshadowed in her own movie. So that would be the one potential drawback, but it's possible. BJW86 writes, PBS has had 2 of their 3 most legendary OGs from their programs have their own biopics based on movies show in theaters. Julia Child and Mr. Rogers. Why has Bob Ross not had his own movie yet? I believe he's long overdue for one. Well, here's the thing, though. And we talk about this a lot. Whenever somebody suggests, hey, there was this cool person, why don't they get a biopic? All right, they were a cool person, but does their life story actually have an interesting movie in it? Because you can have some incredibly talented people that just was, hey, no, I just had a regular childhood, grew up, I was pretty good at something, went to school for it, got a job for it, and then became pretty successful at it. But is there an interesting movie there to be told? Like with Mr. Rogers, obviously there was. With Julia Child, obviously there was. Bob Ross is awesome, but is there I don't know enough about his life. Is there an interesting movie to be made about his life? I don't know the answer to that, but it's a good question. All right, next up. Anonymous viewer writes, I think people are missing the mark a bit on Patty Jenkins. I hated Wonder Woman 84. I love the first one. The difference to me is that she didn't write the first one, but did write the second one. So if she isn't going to write Rogue Squadron and just directing it, I'd be just fine. Yeah, maybe that is, again, we got to try not to be short-sighted, just think, look at one project and think everything about that person can be summed up in that one project. I've gotten messages from people saying, well, I'm never going to trust Patty Jenkins because she made Wonder Woman 84. It's like, yeah, Wonder Woman 84 was a disappointment, but this is the same woman who made Wonder Woman and the same woman who made Monster, which won Oscars, by the way, and won Charlize Theron her one and only Academy Award. So, and even if there's a writing thing, don't be too quick to judge based on one thing. I'm guilty of that. I totally am, but let's try not to do that. All right. Let's see. The Mystery of Cavill writes, also, talking of Cavill, although I know you don't like me talking about who should play what in a movie, I have to say again, in another upcoming movie with Jenkins and Godot's Cleopatra, wouldn't Cavill make a great Mark Anthony? Just a thought. Well, look, yes. That's actually perfect. Again, I don't care about X actor and X role. All I'll say is, if tomorrow they announced that Henry Cavill was playing Mark Anthony, that would be a really good fit. He's a great actor. It's a great type. He fits it. It would be great. Now, there's still other actors who could do just as well, if not better, but yeah, that would be a good fit. Why not? All right, Jay Bling writes, ketchup on mac and cheese sounds like a travesty. It's the idea of somebody putting ketchup on mac and cheese is totally revolting to me. Anyway, but what are your thoughts on breadcrumbs on mac and cheese? That's a good question. I know it's a traditional topping, but I enjoy mac and cheese as a creamy haven, so I never understood tainting it with crunchy toasted breadcrumbs. You want to know what, Jay Bling? One of the first big differences when I moved down to the United States from Canada, one of the first big differences I noticed was ordering mac and cheese in a restaurant, and I'm like, what the hell is this? As it's covered with breadcrumbs. Breadcrumbs? This isn't veal cutlets. I said mac and cheese. What the hell are you putting breadcrumbs on mac and cheese? Do you get a plate of spaghetti and put breadcrumbs on it? It was really weird to me. And I had never even heard of putting breadcrumbs on mac and cheese. It's not something we do in Canada. It is not something we do in Canada. So when I saw that, it was kind of startling to me. I will say this. I prefer my mac and cheese, my Kraft dinner. We just call mac and cheese Kraft dinner in Canada. But I prefer my mac and cheese like you, creamy. I like a nice, creamy, cheesy mac and cheese. I don't want a crunchy texture to it. I want a nice, creamy pasta kind of texture to it. That's how I like it. But I don't hate it when it comes with breadcrumbs. And because most of the places I order will come with breadcrumbs, I don't hate it. It's fine. I can totally eat it. It's not like ketchup being on it. That to me is repulsive. I hate that. All right. Next up, Dangerous D writes, hey, John, update on the Dead Boy Detectives upcoming to HBO Max. Some reports say that despite the characters showing up on Doom Patrol, this incarnation will be a standalone. Okay, not connected to the Doom Patrol show. Warner Brothers doesn't say whether the actors will be back filming now. Okay, so that's interesting because yesterday there was a little bit of confusion because they were saying they were doing the Dead Boy Detectives, which feature in this season of Doom Patrol. And it looked like it was going to be a spin-off series, but they were recasting all the characters. That's weird. But now you're saying actually it's not a spin-off. It's a different iteration of those same characters. So they're going to that would make more sense. That would make more sense, Dangerous. Thanks for sharing that. All right, Dangerous D also writes, hey, John, I have a theory, all right? Henry Cavill says there are multiple Supermen in the comics. Why not have multiple Supermen in the movies? What if in the Flash movie opened the doorway through the multiverse and Henry meets the other Supermen teaming up to beat a threat? That sounds gimmicky to me. But no, they already are talking about doing multiple Supermen in the movies. Right? We got Michael B. Jordan doing a Superman. We got J.J. Abrams is doing a Superman. So there's already that. So when Henry Cavill says we can have multiple Supermen, he is talking about the movies. He is talking about that. But you don't need some gimmick like, well, it's got to open a multi-universal door. You don't need that gimmick. Look at Robert Pattinson's Batman. It doesn't need a gimmick. Just saying, hey, guys, we're making a different Batman. Here we go. And you're going to have multiple Batmen. So yeah, I like what Cavill had to say about that, Dangerous. I really do. Next up, an anonymous viewer writes, hi, amigos. Eternals is nicely filmed, cleverly written, thematically bold and relevant, deep and challenging, intimate but global, Marvel funny notwithstanding. Professional critics are wrong, of course. Haha, kidding. Magnificent film in my book. But here's, again, the funny thing is, when people say the critics are wrong, which critics? The critics are split on this. Almost half of them like it. Little more than half of them don't. It's the first negatively reviewed MCU film, but not by a lot. So when people say the critics got it wrong, which critics? Because a lot of them liked it. So, I mean, that's one thing, but I really enjoyed Eternals. I'm glad, not as much as Shang-Chi, but I do enjoy it. All right, Ryan Butler writes, John and guest, and no guest today. I was recently introduced to the quote from F. Scott Fitzgerald, the only thing worth writing about is the human heart in conflict with itself. I take this as the heart wanting something it cannot have. What movies does this conjure for you? See, I don't agree. I don't take it as the heart wanting something it cannot have. That's the heart longing for something outside of itself. What Fitzgerald is saying is the heart in conflict with itself. The heart in conflict with itself. That's one of the reasons why I've been talking in recent days about one of my favorite characters in all of fiction is Javert in Les Miserables. The character of Javert in Les Miserables is one of my all-time favorite characters. A character who ultimately has his own heart so in conflict with itself, struggling between the right thing is to let this guy go because he saved my life, but I am 100% devoted to the law, and by serving the law, I serve God. And if I let this guy go, I am breaking the law. But if I don't let this guy go, I'm doing something morally wrong because this guy saved my life. And at the end, his inability to reconcile those two parts of his heart led him to just throwing himself off a bridge and killing himself. It is one of the most fascinating, wonderful, rich, deep characters in all of fiction's Javert. And I'm Javert. Do not forget me. Do not forget my name, 24601. I love Les Mis. Love Les Mis. And Javert is one of the best characters ever. And I think Javert is a great example of the heart being in conflict with itself. And I kind of think that's what I might be wrong about that, but I think that's kind of what he was talking about. All right, next up. Let's see here. Next up, where'd we go? That was Ryan. Yes, that was Ryan. Next up, we got Chris Martin, who writes, "Hey, John, no question here. Just a heartfelt thank you for all the work you put into your craft." Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Your show and streams are a wonderful escape from the everyday, much like the movies are. This community is just too awesome, and I thank you immensely. Chris, thank you. Dude, listen, it's always so nice, and you tipped in like $20 when you did that, so thank you for that. It's awesome and amazing to me when somebody just wants to write in just to say something encouraging and whatever. And dude, you have no idea how deeply I appreciate that. So thank you so much, man. That means a lot. All right. Next up, Son of Geeky Gator writes, "Hold on to your butt. The first Harry Potter movie turns 20 years old. Also, fun fact, Ben Platt auditioned for Harry Potter, but was deemed way, way too old to come off as believable." You know, it's funny, Son of Geeky Gator. We were talking the other day about how you want to feel old. You want to feel old? Wrap your head around this. All three of the main Harry Potter kids, Daniel Radcliffe, Rupert, Emma, they're all in their 30s now. As you pick your jaw up off the floor, let me repeat that. All three of the Harry Potter kids are in their 30s now. In their 30s now. Yeah. And Red Comet's pointing out in the live chat, Rupert Grint actually has a kid. Yeah, Rupert Grint has a kid. The Harry Potter kid has a kid. Does that make you feel like a grandparent? Like it kind of does to me. Anyway, all right. Next up, we've got Tristan Steelheart writes, "The Harder They Fall is a critical darling." It is. And Eternals is rated rotten. What is happening? Did we watch the same movies? No real question, just confusion. Always. Thanks, John. Love the show. Yeah, listen, The Harder They Fall has an amazing critic rating and has really good audience ratings as well. Like really good audience rating. And I think it's the worst movie of the year. I think it's horrible. Eternals is the first MCU movie to be rottenly rated. It has good audience rating, but it's the first negatively reviewed MCU film, but I think it's really good. Not the best thing they've ever done, not even a top 10, but I think it's really good. But that just points to the fact that all film is subjective, man. Just because you hate something doesn't mean other people are going to hate it. Just because you love something doesn't mean other people are going to love it. I mean, I hate The Harder They Fall, especially with such an amazing cast. Idris Elba, Lakeith, Zazie. I mean, the cast is insane and it's terrible with such a great cast, but other people love it. And that is the beauty of the subjectivity of film, my friends. All right. Jack Lumbers writes, I agree with you. 3 Spider-Men is way too big of a marketing tool for Sony not to include in their marketing if they are there. If I have to guess, Sony will wait until the tickets go on sale before releasing the trailer with all 3. Like I said, I think it's going to be the same day, same minute. That trailer's going to drop. Ba, 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 ba. Hello, I'm Tobey Maguire. Tickets on sale now. And the internet breaks. So I think it's going to be right at the exact same time, Jack. That's my guess at any rate. All right, Jack Lumbers also writes, do you know a good TV antenna? I bought a couple off list found. I bought couple off of list found online and they suck. The one I have is not good and I have to miss watching the series finale of Brooklyn Nine-Nine and Supergirl when it first broadcast. You know what? I tried that for a while. I tried because you can get free over-the-air networks, right? And I tried for a while grabbing an antenna from Best Buy, slapping it on, see if I can get them. Because I wanted to see if I could like unsubscribe from Sling TV and YouTube TV. I want to see if I could unsubscribe from those and just get free over-the-air television. And I'll be honest with you, man, I never had much success. I honestly never had much success. It has a lot to do with where you live as well. So it might the fact that no antenna is going to help you. That's because of where you live. That might be the case, but I have personally not come up with any good solution. It's an awesome idea that today still you can just get free TV by popping up an antenna. All the major networks still broadcast over the air, but I never had much luck with it myself, to be honest with you, which is too bad. All right, the mighty Carfu writes in, that's from one of the previous shows. Assuming Spider-Man is going, I prefer seeing Spider-Man in Venom 3 rather than Venom being in No Way Home. Seems really No Way Home seems crowded with Doc Ock, Doctor Strange, and Electro, and I would prefer more of a focus. Yeah, but that's not many characters. I mean, look at the first X-Men movie. You had Professor Charles Xavier. You had Cyclops. You had Jean Grey. You had Storm. You had Wolverine. You had Magneto, and you had Sabretooth. You had Toad, and you had Mystique. And you had Rogue. I mean, that's just 10 right there. That's 10 right there. Or Eternals. We just had 10 main characters in Eternals. There are 10 Eternals. So what are we talking about in Spider-Man No Way Home? We're talking maybe 3 Spider-Men. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 villains. Got, what do we got there? We got maybe Venom, MJ and Ned. Okay, well, that's all your main character. Same as Eternals. Less than X-Men. It's not the amount of characters that are there. It's, are they used properly? It's not the number of them. You can have Venom in this and it still work perfectly well. It's about how you use those characters. How do you use them? All right, anyway. Or it could be a big bloody mess. We'll have to wait and see. All right, next up. I do understand why Sony, this is from Jack Lumbers who writes, I do understand why Sony may be lying though. I'm guessing they want to break the internet on the day the tickets go on sale to maximize profits. Anytime, prefer, may, let people forget. Anytime, prefer, I'm not quite sure what you're saying, Jack. But anyway, yeah. I mean, when the trailer comes out, if Andrew and Toby are in the trailer, some people will say, well, then what was the point of keeping it secret up till now? If you're not, if you were just going to put them in the trailer, they probably wanted to let that trailer have that big impact to sell a ton of tickets. But I don't know. We'll see how that all kind of comes about, Jack. You may be right about that. All right, next up, Andy Hong writes, hey, John, the Usman versus Covington fight last Saturday was my first MMA fight that I ever watched, and I had the pleasure of watching it with a huge crowd. It's also my first time watching a sports event with a crowd. I was surprised how exciting it all could be. Dude, I mean, I don't know if I showed this or not. Let me see if I can find this. Not sure if I can. I'll bring it up here if I can find it. But yeah, Ann and I, we didn't do this a lot, obviously, when the pandemic was going on, obviously. But Ann and I went out to Hollywood. We went in and, can I bring this picture up? Where's the picture? Where's the picture I just tried to put up? Oh no, there it is. Ann and I went into Hollywood, met up with buddy Dennis Zen, the Zen master, and found this great Irish sports bar right in Hollywood called Jameson's. And it was a rowdy crowd. Rowdy crowd. And even though the Usman Covington fight was great, oh, dude, the first fight on the card, Gaethje, the maestro of violence, that Gaethje fight was maybe fight of the year. There were a lot of good fights on that card, man. It was a tremendous card. I loved it. All right, next up. We go to Andy Hong, who also writes, have you seen VOT News Network 7 on 7 with Cameron Coleman by VOT International on YouTube? Yeah, I've seen most of their videos on there. According to their latest segment, VOT's theme park has their own musical for Soulja Boy called Soulja Boy Ahoy. Yeah, listen, if you have not seen these, The Boys puts out these little videos on YouTube that's meant to be their version of Fox News. And it's called VOT News Network 7 on 7. And It just does these little news stories within the world of The Boys. If you haven't seen them, you should go look them up. They're pretty funny. All right, next up, Andy Hong also writes, and we'll wrap things up here with this, guys, because we're going way over time on this now. But Andy Hong writes, here's a tough question. If for some reason the Marvel Studios did an MCU film starring Melissa McCarthy with her husband Belle Falcone directing and writing it, and you had to bet your savings and retirement accounts on whether the movie would get a fresh or rotten score on Rotten Tomatoes, what side would you lean towards? You basically have to put one of the best track records against one of the worst track records in Hollywood, and deciding which one outweighs the other, choose wisely. That's easy. It's going to get a negative critic review. Look, the critics don't care if a movie is from Marvel or not. They don't care. All the critics care about is the movie good? And if they don't think it's good, like a number of them didn't think Eternals was good. A lot of them did like it, but a lot of them didn't. If they think the movie's not good, it doesn't matter that they gave huge raving reviews for Endgame or Spider-Man Homecoming or whatever other Marvel movies they were. If they don't like it, they're going to give it a negative review. Ben Falcone has never made a good movie. And I feel bad saying that, because from everything I've heard from people indirectly or directly have worked with them, from everything I've heard nothing but amazing things about Ben Falcone. I've heard he's like truly a remarkably wonderful human being, like a super, super nice guy. That's all I ever hear about him. So I feel bad saying he's never made a good film. I don't know if he's ever even made a bad film. I don't know that any of his films have ever been good enough to be called just bad. He makes iconically awful films. Especially when he puts his wife in, Melissa McCarthy. Melissa McCarthy, who's a tremendous actress, but that can't save a really bad movie. So yeah, I'll go out on a limb here and say, I think it'll be bad. Somebody just said, Red Comment just said, didn't he direct Spy? I don't think he directed Spy, but if he did, I need to eat my words, because I like Spy. I like Spy quite a bit. So I'm going to have to eat my words if he directed Spy. Spy, 2015, Melissa McCarthy. Let's look this up. No, it was directed by Paul Feig. Paul Feig directed Spy. Yeah, I was about to eat my words. It's like, wait a minute. I didn't think Belle Falcone directed Spy. If he did, then I take it all back, because Spy's pretty damn good. I like Spy a lot, but nope, he did not direct Spy. He did not direct Spy, so that's unfortunate. All right, guys, listen. There are still more questions to come. Questions from people like Ethan Holgate, people like Josh Ward, Tom Gillard, and more from Tom Gillard. Do not worry. There's not too many left to go. Do not worry, guys. We're going to do a companion video a little bit later, and we will get all cleared up on all the remaining questions that are there today. But for now, guys, that'll do it for today's installment of the John Campea Show. Thank you so much, guys, for spending some of your day here with us. Special thank you to all of you guys who sent in the super chats and the tip questions. Number one, because you gave us great fun things to talk about. But number two, you supported this channel as you did, and all of us involved with the John Campea Show. Thank you guys so very much for your support. Okay, guys, in the meantime, remember to do the four main things. Stay smart, stay safe, take care of yourselves, and please take care of the people around you. That'll do it for me for now, guys. Thanks a lot for being here. My name's John Campea, and until next time, my friends, bye-bye.